Chapter 1625. It's Lin Long. He's questioning Mr. Mo's result. Lin Long is the #1 prodigy of the three-headed dragon clan in the last 10,000 years. Of course he's upset that his results are worse than a constellation kid's. I wonder how Senior Sang Kuan will handle this. Will he test Mr. Mo's results? I don't think he'll test it. After all, Mr. Mo's results are clear for all to see. Seeing Lin Long's actions, the people nearby whispered with curious and expectant expressions. As the crowd whispered amongst themselves, the gray-robed old man revealed a displeased expression and said, "Lin Long, are you doubting us? Or are you questioning Qianqiu Manor's integrity?" Lin Long wouldn't dare. Lin Long's face trembled when he heard the gray-robed elder's angry shout. He responded respectfully. Seeing Lin Long's reaction, the gray-robed elder's expression turned better. However, his tone was still displeased. "If everyone doubts the results like you, what's the point of these tests?" Lin Long was at a loss for words when he heard the gray-robed elder's question. He didn't know how to refute. The gray-robed elder was right. If everyone doubted the results, it would be a mess. "Lin Long, you may leave." Sang Kuan glanced at Mo Qingyun, then at Lin Long. He waved his hand impatiently at Lin Long. They all looked down on people who couldn't afford to lose. As the saying went, victory and defeat were commonplace. Even if you lost this time, don't be discouraged. Work hard in the future and try to move back next time. Questioning others after losing like Lin Long was a sign of weakness. He didn't dare to face his own failure. "Seniors, please listen to me." Seeing Sang Kuan and the others' actions, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and interrupted them. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Sang Kuan and the others' expressions changed. They looked at Mo Qingyun curiously. Under Sang Kuan and the others' gazes, Mo Qingyun turned to Lin Long and said, "Since you like the 11th place so much, I'll give it to you." "He gave the 11th place to you?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Lin Long's expression turned ugly. He thought that Mo Qingyun was humiliating him. At this moment, before Lin Long could get angry, a young man looked at Mo Qingyun and said with a sly smile, "Young man, I also doubt your test results. If you have the ability, fight with me. If you can defeat me, I'll admit it." As this person spoke, everyone's expression changed greatly. They all looked at him in surprise. Seeing Zhang Xiaoli in the crowd, everyone looked at him with disdain. They were very disdainful of his actions. Lin Long doubted Mo Qingyun. At least he was close to Mo Qingyun in ranking. He had the right to doubt Mo Qingyun. Zhang Xiaoli was ranked 101st. There was a huge gap between him and Mo Qingyun. There was no comparison between the two of them. It was too shameless of him to jump out and question someone. "You also doubt my test results?" Seeing Zhang Xiaoli's actions, Mo Qingyun's expression turned cold. A trace of anger appeared on his face. Although he wanted to keep a low profile, it did not mean that he was easy to bully. Everyone could jump out and step on him. That's right. Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Zhang Xiaoli raised his head and replied arrogantly, "If you have the guts, come out and fight with me. As long as you defeat me, I'll admit your test result." "You're pushing your luck." Seeing Zhang Xiaoli's actions, Mo Qingyun said unhappily. He said, "You have no right to question the authenticity of my test result. However, since you want to humiliate yourself, I'll generously grant you your wish." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he flew up into the air and shouted, "Get your ass over here and let's fight." Mo Qingyun had already made up his mind. Since he wanted to establish his power, there was no need for him to keep a low profile. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, the surrounding people were shocked. They did not expect Mo Qingyun's attitude to change so drastically. "Haha, it seems like this Mo Tianhun is quite arrogant. This is what a genius should be like." Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Sang Kuan was impressed. He did not stop Mo Qingyun's actions. This is good too. We can see how strong this Mr. Mo really is. Sang Kuan did not stop Mo Qinyun. The gray-robed elder and the others also did not stop Mo Qinyun. They wanted to see how strong Mo Qinyun was. This shifty-eyed guy is so annoying. He actually dares to question Mr. Mo's result. I'll definitely report this to Dad later and ask him to chase this guy away. That's right. He's so ugly, but he actually dares to question my handsome Mr. Mo. It's best that Mr. Mo teach him a lesson when they fight later. This guy is at the immortal golden body stage. Mr. Mo is probably not his match. If he dares to hurt Mr. Mo, I'll immediately cripple him. Seeing Zhang Xiaoli's actions, the young ladies all showed angry expressions. They hated Zhang Xiaoli to the core. If Zhang Xiaoli knew that because of his actions, he had offended so many young ladies, he would probably cry until his eyes were dry. Then, under everyone's gaze, Zhang Xiaoli went up to the sky and faced off with Mo Qinyun. Kid, although your cultivation is not very good, you're quite brave. Looking at Mo Qinyun in front of him, Zhang Xiaoli showed a disdainful expression. He looked down on Mo Qinyun. Hearing Zhang Xiaoli's words, the corners of Mo Qinyun's mouth curled up slightly. He glanced at Zhang Xiaoli with disdain and said, "No matter how weak my cultivation is, it's more than enough to deal with you. Traceless demon shadow. Lightning wind path. Illusory void star position." As soon as Mo Qinyun finished speaking, he used 3 of his trump cards in succession, increasing his speed to the maximum. After that, everyone saw Mo Qinyun's figure flash, and he vanished from where he stood. So fast. Seeing Mo Qinyun's figure disappear, Zhang Xiaoli's expression suddenly trembled. Only then did he realize that he had underestimated Mo Qinyun. However, before Zhang Xiaoli could regain his senses, Mo Qinyun had already arrived in front of him and punched him in a domineering manner. Demonic fist shattering Star River. Mo Qinyun threw out a punch. Suddenly, a burst of demonic power erupted, and a burst of violent immortal spiritual energy blasted out. This immortal spiritual energy gushed out from Mo Qinyun's fist and turned into a huge fist shadow, instantly hitting Zhang Xiaoli. Bang! With a muffled sound, everyone saw Zhang Xiaoli being sent flying by the overbearing fist radiance. Then, everyone saw Zhang Xiaoli being blasted into the ground by the fist radiance, smashing a huge hole in the ground. After a while, when the dust settled, Zhang Xiaoli's figure gradually appeared. At this moment, Zhang Xiaoli's clothes were tattered and his hair was disheveled. He looked like a beggar. After this discovery, everyone immediately looked at Mo Qinyun with a strong sense of awe in their eyes. With just one move, the indestructible golden body Zhang Xiaoli was severely injured by Mo Qinyun just like that. With this kind of strength, even an ordinary powerhouse who was half a step away from the golden celestial stage might not be able to achieve this. Mo Tianhuan's combat strength is actually so strong. Seeing Mo Qinyun's current performance, Sang Kuan was shocked and felt that it was unbelievable. Originally, he had thought that through the fight between Mo Qinyun and Zhang Xiaoli, he would be able to test Mo Qinyun's strength. At that time, when Mo Qinyun was really no match for Zhang Xiaoli, it would not be too late for them to intervene. They did not expect the result to be like this. Before they could react, the fight had already ended. Sang Kuan, this time we seem to have misjudged. This kid is really strong. Seeing Mo Qinyun's shocking performance, the gray-robed elder could not help but smile bitterly. He did not know what to say. Mo Qinyun's strength being formidable to this extent really greatly exceeded his expectations. Mr. Mo is so strong. He crippled that guy in one move. One look at his ugly face, and I know that he is no match for my handsome Mr. Mo. He overestimated himself and asked for humiliation. Even if Mr. Mo taught him a lesson, I still won't let him off so easily. When he becomes a servant, I will take my time to teach him a lesson. All the young ladies were indignant and decided to teach Zhang Xiaoli a lesson in the future. If Zhang Xiaoli knew about this situation, he would probably even have the heart to kill himself. At this moment, while everyone was shocked by Emo Qingyun's actions, Emo Qingyun turned to look at Lin Long and said, "Since you doubt my results, then come and fight with me." Emo Qingyun thought to himself, since he no longer wanted to keep a low profile, he might as well put on a good show. This way, when he entered Thousand Autumn's mansion, he would not be disturbed by random people. "You want to fight with me?" Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Lin Long's face immediately turned ugly. He said in a sinister tone, "Kid, don't think that you are so strong just because you defeated Zhang Xiaoli. I am not a piece of trash like Zhang Xiaoli. Whether I am strong or not, we will know when we fight. Are you afraid?" Seeing Lin Long's reaction, Emo Qingyun did not give him a chance to avoid the fight. He immediately mocked him. Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Lin Long could not hold back his anger no matter how good his temper was. He shouted, "Kid, since you are asking for trouble, I, Lin Long, will fulfill your wish." As soon as Lin Long finished speaking, he did not hesitate and immediately flew towards Emo Qingyun. Seeing Lin Long's actions, everyone was excited and unconsciously clenched their fists. Emo Qingyun was going to fight Lin Long. Next, there would be a good show to watch. Chapter 1626. Stop! Seeing Lin Long's actions, the gray-robed elder immediately roared and moved to stop Lin Long from attacking Emo Qingyun. Seeing that the gray-robed elder had stopped him, Lin Long was displeased and said unhappily, "Senior, are you siding with this person by stopping me? Impudent! Do I need you to teach me how to do things?" Hearing Lin Long's displeased words, the gray-robed elder scolded and said coldly, "Emo Tianhun is ranked 11th in the second round of the test. No one is allowed to object." "Senior, you..." Hearing the gray-robed elder's words, Lin Long immediately became angry and glared at the gray-robed elder, speechless. In his opinion, the gray-robed elder's actions were clearly siding with Emo Qingyun. "Lin Long, you can leave now. This matter is decided." Seeing Lin Long's reaction, Sang Kun waved his hand impatiently at Lin Long. Although Lin Long's talent was extraordinary, his lack of etiquette was still displeasing. In comparison, Emo Qingyun was much more sensible and had always been humble and courteous. Yes. Seeing that Sang Kun was also displeased, Lin Long was shocked and knew that he had been rude. Based on the current situation, if he continued to cause trouble, he was afraid that he would incur the wrath of the crowd. That was not a good thing. Although Sang Kun and the others were not particularly distinguished in the Qianqiu manner, they were still powerful enough to deal with Lin Long. Seeing that Lin Long had retreated to the side, Sang Kun and the others' expressions turned slightly better, and they no longer bickered with Lin Long. Sang Kun looked at Emo Qingyun in annoyance and said, "Kid, why aren't you gathering at the side? Do you want me to capture you?" Anyone with a discerning eye could tell from Sang Kun's tone that he had a good impression of Emo Qingyun. "Yes." Emo Qingyun nodded and flew towards Lin Long and the others, stopping beside him. "Kid, don't think that you can get carried away just because Sang Kun and the others are protecting you. How arrogant!" Seeing Emo Qingyun come to his side, Lin Long showed a gloomy expression and gritted his teeth at Emo Qingyun. He was very indignant. He, Lin Long, was also someone with some reputation, but he was actually suppressed by someone in the constellation realm. Me, conceited and arrogant? Hearing Lin Long's words, Emo Qingyun couldn't help smiling. He shook his head and ignored Lin Long. Seeing that Emo Qingyun had actually ignored him, the anger in Lin Long's heart grew even stronger. He glared at Emo Qingyun viciously and said, "Brat, don't be too arrogant. Once you enter the Thousand Autumn Manor, I'll slowly deal with you." Emo Qingyun still ignored him. He sat down cross-legged with an indifferent expression and closed his eyes to recover. Seeing Emo Qingyun's actions, Lin Long gnashed his teeth in anger, and his face turned ashen. If it weren't for Sang Kuren and the others, he would have already chopped Mo Qingyun into pieces. This guy was really too arrogant. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Sang Kuren and the others felt the complete opposite of Linlong. This Mo Tianhuan's state of mind is much better than that Linlong's. That's right. There's always an extraordinary temperament in this kid's every movement. Compared to him, Linlong is just a clown. If Linlong doesn't know when to stop, he'll probably suffer greatly. Seeing Linlong's unrelenting actions, Sang Kuren and the others showed disdain for Linlong. Seeing that Mo Qingyun was still ignoring him, Linlong probably felt bored and didn't bother Mo Qingyun anymore. Soon after, time slowly passed as everyone waited. Night came quietly, and the sky gradually darkened. The arrival of night also meant that the monster beasts in the city space had begun to attack the city again. I wonder how many people will be able to hold on this time. In my opinion, there are no more than 5 people who can withstand the attack of the demonic beasts. Who cares? Let's just watch in peace. The answer will be out soon. Everyone exchanged a few words and revealed curious expressions. They wanted to see who would finish the assessment. Whoosh! After some time, a figure appeared on the high platform while everyone waited attentively. Yang Tianfeng had come out. Seeing this figure, everyone's expression was shocked as they recognized this figure. I didn't expect the person who came out of the assessment space to be Yang Tianfeng from the Stone Mountain tribe. The Stone Mountain tribe is only an ordinary tribe. It's unbelievable that Yang Tianfeng could reach this stage. It's said that Yang Tianfeng was able to achieve this because his bloodline mutated. That's right. Yang Tianfeng's bloodline power is now comparable to the top 100 tribes on the 10,000 Archean tribe board. Everyone whispered about Yang Tianfeng. Not long after, a few more figures came out of the assessment space. Look, the divination immortal master Wang Yunheng also came out of the assessment space. Isn't that the desert warrior immortal Song Shiji? I didn't expect him to last until now. The old man immortal Ma Huaishan is indeed someone who has been famous for a long time. He is indeed very powerful. When these figures left the assessment space, everyone immediately recognized them. Everyone showed a look of awe and worship towards these people who were slightly famous. Just like that, after a few hours, everyone came out of the assessment space. Even Huang Yushang, who had been talking to Mo Qingyun, came out of the assessment space. However, to Mo Qingyun's surprise, Huang Yushang was the last to leave the assessment space. You actually came out? When did you come out? Huang Yushang asked Mo Qingyun in shock as she came to Mo Qingyun's side. In her opinion, with the combat power that Mo Qingyun controlled, even if he wanted to guard for another 3 to 5 days, it wouldn't be difficult at all. Now, Mo Qingyun appeared in front of her, which really puzzled her. My strength isn't enough, so I naturally have to come out of the assessment space. Mo Qingyun smiled faintly at Huang Yushang's question and simply evaded it. Mo Qingyun didn't know that Huang Yushang had been to his city. Otherwise, he wouldn't have answered like that. My strength isn't enough? Huang Yushang's expression froze. She looked at Mo Qingyun with a strange gaze. Millions of ghosts. What kind of terrifying combat power was that? Mo Qingyun actually said that his strength wasn't enough. He was clearly talking nonsense. But seeing that Mo Qingyun was unwilling to explain, Huang Yushang didn't ask any more and silently stood beside Mo Qingyun. What kind of person is this guy? He's really a strange guy. Standing beside Mo Qingyun, Huang Yushang had a curious expression and looked at Mo Qingyun curiously. Mo Qingyun didn't care about Huang Yushang's curious gaze. His expression was indifferent as he sat cross-legged on the ground. Seeing that Huang Yushang and the others had come out, the gray-robed elder no longer hesitated. He slowly walked to the front of the crowd and said, "Since everyone has come out, I will now announce the assessment results." Next, the gray-robed elder held a list and read out everyone's assessment results. His assessment ranking is only 11th. How is that possible? Hearing Mo Qingyun's assessment ranking, Huang Yushang's expression was shocked. She couldn't believe this result. Others didn't know about Mo Qingyun's strength, but how could she not know? As long as Mo Qingyun wanted to, there was absolutely no doubt that he would win first place. Now, Mo Qingyun was only 11th. Wasn't this too strange? Huang Yushang was filled with strong curiosity. She squatted down beside Mo Qingyun and whispered, "Hey, with the combat strength of the ghosts in your city, it wouldn't be a problem to win first place. How come you're only 11th? What's going on here? You've been to my city?" Hearing Huang Yushang's words, it was Mo Qingyun's turn to be surprised. Huang Yushang's words really shocked him and made him feel very surprised. Hurry up and tell me honestly. What are you thinking? Seeing Mo Qingyun's reaction, Huang Yushang proudly raised her head and smiled slyly at Mo Qingyun. She thought to herself, "You still want to fool me? You didn't expect that I've been to your city, did you?" The more Huang Yushang thought about it, the prouder she became. She thought that she had something on Mo Qingyun. "I want to keep a low profile." Under Huang Yushang's questioning, Mo Qingyun revealed a bitter expression and unconsciously shrugged his shoulders. His purpose in doing this was indeed to keep a low profile. He didn't want to attract the attention of too many people in Thousand Autumn Manor because of his shocking results and affect his actions in Thousand Autumn Manor. Nonsense. I don't believe you. Huang Yushang was clearly dissatisfied with Mo Qingyun's answer. She said with dissatisfaction, "Why would someone give up a high ranking and insist on choosing a low ranking? Unless that person is an idiot." She didn't believe that Mo Qingyun would give up first place just to keep a low profile. "Just treat me as an idiot." Seeing Huang Yushang's reaction, Mo Qingyun was speechless. It was rare for him to explain himself to her. He really did want to keep a low profile. As for Huang Yushang's disbelief, she couldn't blame him. Seeing Mo Qingyun's attitude, Huang Yushang was furious. She pouted and glared at Mo Qingyun. Huang Yushang glared fiercely at Mo Qingyun. She smiled slyly and had a plan in mind. "Humph. If you don't say it, I have a way to make you say it later." Then, Huang Yushang turned to look at Sang Kuan and said in a low voice, "Senior, this junior has something that I don't understand. Please help me." "What is it? Tell me." Hearing Huang Yushang's words, Sang Kuan's expression changed, and he looked at Huang Yushang curiously. Huang Yushang was first place in the servant assessment. He couldn't neglect her in the slightest. This junior feels that there's a problem with Mo Tianhuan's ranking. Hearing Sang Kuan's question, Huang Yushang glanced at Mo Qingyun and winked playfully at Mo Qingyun. Seeing Huang Yushang's actions, Mo Qingyun didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He was completely convinced by this girl. This girl was deliberately not letting him keep a low profile. Chapter 1627. Huang Yushang also questioned Mo Qingyun's ranking. Seeing Huang Yushang's actions, the expressions of the people around them became interesting. Could it be that there was really something wrong with Mo Qingyun's ranking? Otherwise, why would there be so many people questioning his ranking? Fairy Yushang is wise. You can see that there is something wrong with this kid's ranking at a glance. Seeing that Huang Yushang also questioned Mo Qingyun's ranking, Linlong, who had suffered a setback earlier, was overjoyed. He quickly cupped his hands at Huang Yushang. In Linlong's opinion, Huang Yushang's current opinion was simply his soulmate. Then, Linlong raised his head and looked at the gray-robed elder with a provocative attitude. He said in a low voice, "Elder, now that even Fairy Yushang thinks that there is something wrong with Mo Tianhuan's ranking, are you still going to side with him?" Hearing Linlong's words, Sang Kuan and the others fell silent. For a moment, they were speechless and did not know how to refute Linlong. After all, Huang Yushang's words carried more weight than Linlong's. Seeing that Sang Kuan and the others were silent, Linlong's face became even more smug. He said, Elder, I think that with Mo Tianhuan's cultivation, he can only be ranked in the top 1,000 at most. Mo Tianhun was only worthy of being ranked in the top 1,000? Hearing Linlong's words, the expressions of the people around them changed drastically. They began to whisper among themselves. Linlong's words are too much. He is obviously belittling Mo Tianhun on purpose. Yes, Mo Tianhun defeated Zhang Xiaoli in one move. How can he only be ranked in the top 1,000? Linlong is targeting Mo Tianhun. I wonder how he will retaliate. Will he choose to fight Linlong? As long as Mo Tianhun defeats Linlong, Linlong will have nothing to say. Mo Tianhun will fight Linlong immediately. Defeat him and make him accept his defeat wholeheartedly. The crowd was full of anticipation. They hoped that Mo Qingyun and Linlong would fight. At this moment, the crowd was filled with excitement as they waited for the battle between Mo Qingyun and Jian Wushuang. Seeing Linlong's reaction, Huang Yushang knew that Linlong had misunderstood her. She quickly shook her head and explained, "Mr. Lin, you misunderstood me. When I said that there was something wrong with Mr. Mo's ranking, I didn't mean that his ranking was too high, but that his ranking was too low." Now that it was quiet, everyone felt that they couldn't think straight. What was going on? Huang Yushang actually thought that Mo Qingyun could get better result. "Fairy Yushang, are you mistaken?" Linlong was stunned and unconsciously asked Huang Yushang. He pointed at Mo Qingyun and exclaimed, "You think he's qualified to get a better ranking? You must be being sarcastic, right? Miss Huang, did you discover some details that we don't know?" Seeing Huang Yushang's reaction, Sang Kuan was curious and quickly asked Huang Yushang. In his opinion, Huang Yushang's reaction meant that she must have discovered something about Mo Qingyun that no one knew. "Senior Sang Kuan, please listen to me slowly. This is what happened." Back then, in the assessment space, Huang Yushang nodded at Sang Kuan and then told everyone in detail what she had discovered. The more they listened to Huang Yushang's story, the more shocked Sang Kuan and the others were. They all widened their eyes and were dumbfounded. Mo Qingyun had actually summoned millions of ghosts. What kind of terrifying combat strength was this? If that was the case, then Mo Qingyun would be able to obtain first place in the assessment without any suspense. Summoning millions of ghosts? Is Mo Tianhun from the Nether Ghost Tribe? That's impossible. The Nether Ghost Tribe is ranked 23rd on the 10,000 Archean Tribes board. But if Mo Tianhun isn't from the Nether Ghost Tribe, how does he know how to summon ghosts? Terrifying cultivation talent, extraordinary state of mind, and miraculous methods. This Mo Tianhun is too mysterious. If this kid can grow up smoothly, he will definitely be a terrifying figure. It seems that if we build a good relationship with Mo Qingyun in the future, there might be unexpected gains. Looking at Mo Qingyun, Sang Kuan and the others were full of admiration and shared their thoughts. Seeing the shocked expressions of Sang Kuan and the others, Huang Yushang winked at Mo Qingyun and smiled sweetly. "Mr. Mo, I've explained the truth for you. Hurry up and thank me." "Thank you." Hearing Huang Yushang's words, Mo Qingyun didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He said gloomily, "Miss, I just want to keep a low profile. Why do you have to make things difficult for me?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone was immediately gloomy and no longer doubted Huang Yushang's words. From the looks of it, what Huang Yushang said was most likely true. It seemed that Mo Qingyun deliberately gave up the assessment so that he could keep a low profile. "Mr. Mo, what Miss Huang said just now, could it be true?" Thinking of what Huang Yushang said just now, Sang Kuan couldn't help but widen his eyes in disbelief. Summoning millions of ghosts. Even if they encountered them, they could only run for their lives with their tails between their legs. You can say that. Under the gaze of Sang Kuan and the others, Mo Qingyun laughed awkwardly and didn't deny it. Seeing that Mo Qingyun didn't hide it anymore, Sang Kuan and the others were shocked. The way they looked at Mo Qingyun changed dramatically. If that's the case, the first place of the servant assessment this time is young Master Mo Tianhun. Perhaps he had a particularly good impression of Mo Qingyun. Seeing that Huang Yushang's words were confirmed, the gray-robed elder immediately changed Mo Qingyun's ranking. Hearing the gray-robed elder's words, Yang Tianfeng, who was originally ranked 10th, showed a dissatisfied expression and said, "Senior, I don't accept this ranking. If you want me to acknowledge Mo Tianhuan's strength, he will have to defeat me directly." Yang Tianfeng was originally ranked 10th. If Mo Qingyun became the first, he would be ranked 11th. The difference in treatment between 10th and 11th was huge. Naturally, he couldn't accept this arrangement. "Mr. Mo, what do you think?" After hearing Huang Yushang's words, Sang Kuan and the others became more and more curious about Mo Qingyun's strength. Therefore, they didn't stop Yang Tianfeng's challenge. They were all thinking of letting Mo Qingyun and Yang Tianfeng fight to find out more about Mo Qingyun's strength. "Since you want to fight, then come out and do it." Seeing that things had developed to this point, it was impossible for him to keep a low profile. Mo Qingyun might as well give up on treatment. What he wanted now was to fight Yang Tianfeng and the others and make them accept their defeat wholeheartedly. In the future, when he entered the Qianqiu mansion, he wouldn't have to be bothered by some random people. "You agree?" Mo Qingyun's straightforward attitude surprised Sang Kuan and the others. They couldn't react for a moment. Under normal circumstances, shouldn't a Constellation Realm cultivator refuse a challenge from a half-step golden immortal? "I don't seem to have the right to refuse. If I don't agree, they will definitely not let me off." In response to Sang Kuan's surprise, Mo Qingyun shrugged with a wry smile and a helpless expression on his face. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, his figure flashed and directly appeared in midair. He looked at Yang Tianfeng and the others and said, "You guys, if anyone else doubts my ranking, then come and fight me together." F***CK, Mr. Mo is too domineering. He wants to challenge so many people by himself. This is true badass. It's fine if he doesn't make a move, but once he does, he's so domineering. These people are too bad. Mr. Mo wanted to keep a low profile, but they just had to be so overbearing. Now they've angered Mr. Mo, that's right. Looking at Mr. Mo's current appearance, I'm afraid he wants to teach Yang Tianfeng and the others a lesson. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, everyone was shocked. They were full of admiration for Mo Qingyun. This was the domineering aura a powerhouse should have. This Mo Tianhuan's actions are always so unexpected. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Sang Kuan shook his head with a wry smile. He was even more optimistic about Mo Qingyun. Hearing Sang Kuan's words, the gray-robed elder smiled faintly and said, "This kid is a real tiger. When he's in a good mood, he'll choose to ignore some weak creatures. But if he's angered, he'll definitely slaughter everyone and shock everyone." That's right. This is the aura a champion should have. Seeing Mo Qingyun's current performance, Huang Yushang smiled faintly. She had an expectant and joyful expression. In her opinion, when Mo Qingyun fought with everyone later, he would definitely reveal his true trump card. She would have achieved her goal. Under everyone's gaze, Yang Tianfeng and the others were all furious. They all flew towards Mo Qingyun. Not long after, 6 figures surrounded Mo Qingyun, and all of them wore angry expressions. Mo Qingyun was too arrogant. He had to be taught a lesson. I didn't expect that other than Lin Long and Yang Tianfeng, Old Man Immortal Ma Huaishan would also make a move. Crazy Demon Wu Rinxing has also made a move. Mr. Mo is in a bad situation now. Even the Jade Pen, Immortal Duan Qingfeng has made a move. It seems like Mr. Mo's words just now have angered everyone. Hey, isn't that Jade Swallow Immortal Qiongyan? Why is she making a move too? Is she unhappy with Mr. Mo? These people are all half a step away from the Golden Immortal Realm. They've been famous for a long time. Mr. Mo is in trouble now. Seeing the figures around Mo Qingyun, everyone looked nervous. They couldn't help but worry for Mo Qingyun. Kid, are you regretting it now? It's useless to regret it. Since you dared to speak so arrogantly, you'll have to pay the price for your arrogance. I've always been dismissive of people from the constellations, but you've pissed me off. Lin Long and the others came in front of Mo Qingyun. They all glared at Mo Qingyun and said angry words. Hearing the words of Lin Long and the others, Mo Qingyun showed a disdainful expression. He curled his lips in disdain and said, "If you want to fight, then come. If you don't dare to fight, then get lost. Don't talk so much nonsense." Chapter 1628. Demon God Transformation. In the blink of an eye, Mo Qingyun's body expanded several times and turned into a giant that was dozens of feet tall. As Mo Qingyun's body grew, the aura emanating from his body also increased rapidly. What kind of superpower is this? It can even increase one's cultivation level. Mo Tianhuan's superpower has increased his cultivation to the half-step golden immortal realm. He's only at the half-step golden immortal realm. The gap between him and Lin Long and the rest is huge. It's huge indeed. I think Mo Tianhun must have other tricks up his sleeve. Seeing the change in Mo Qingyun's aura, everyone was shocked. The anticipation on their faces intensified. Although Mo Qingyun's current cultivation was still far from Ma Huaishan and the rest, he could at least put up a fight. This kid has such a trick up his sleeve. It seems that we've underestimated him. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, Sang Kuan was shocked and unconsciously clenched his fists. He had always thought that he had overestimated Mo Qingyun. He did not expect that he had underestimated Mo Qingyun. Hearing Sang Kuan's words, the gray-robed elder frowned and said, "This superpower contains a terrifying demonic will. It doesn't seem like a superpower from the Nether Ghost tribe. Is he not from the Nether Ghost tribe? Then how does he know how to summon ghosts?" Hearing the gray-robed elder's words, Sang Kuan and the rest fell silent. They were even more curious about Mo Qingyun's identity. At this moment, Mo Qingyun became even more mysterious in their hearts. This guy knows such tricks. He's really mysterious. Looking at Mo Qingyun, who had turned into a giant, Huang Yushang's face changed slightly. She was even more curious about Mo Qingyun. Traceless demon shadow. Thunder wind path. Illusory void star position. Under everyone's shocked gazes, Mo Qingyun used several more techniques to increase his battle prowess. With the support of various forces, Mo Qingyun's movement speed was immediately raised to the extreme. "I'll deal with you first." Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and charged at Lin Long. He decided to finish him off first. Lin Long was the weakest among them, so it was easier to deal with him. Devil Fist, Shattering Star River. Mo Qingyun arrived in front of Lin Long in a few flashes and threw a punch at him. A terrifying amount of immortal spiritual energy gathered in front of Lin Long and transformed into a huge fist shadow. "Brat, if you think I'm a pushover, I'm afraid you'll be disappointed." Seeing that Mo Qingyun had attacked him, Lin Long revealed a dark expression and said coldly, "Don't worry." As Lin Long spoke, he did not forget to fight back. Without hesitation, he extended his claw towards Mo Qingyun. Suddenly, a violent and primitive aura erupted from Lin Long's body. Waves of violent immortal spiritual energy quickly gathered on Lin Long's arm and turned into huge dragon scales. At the same time, Lin Long's palm, which was aimed at Mo Qingyun, turned into a huge dragon claw. Bang! When the fist shadow and the dragon claw collided, there was a loud bang and a shocking spiritual energy windstorm was formed. As soon as the spiritual energy windstorm formed, it swallowed Lin Long and forced him to retreat. Chi. As Lin Long retreated, a surge of lightning power wrapped around his arm. Under the corrosion of the lightning energy, Lin Long's arm was instantly charred black. It was obvious that he had suffered a serious injury. Seeing the injury on his arm, Linlong was shocked and looked at Emo Qingyun in disbelief. With his half-step golden immortal strength, he had suffered such an injury in a head-on battle with Emo Qingyun. This kind of situation was far beyond his expectations. It seemed that he had underestimated Emo Qingyun previously. Emo Tianhun actually had the upper hand in a head-on battle with Linlong and seriously injured Linlong with one blow. Seeing Emo Qingyun's performance, Sang Kuan was stunned and could not recover for a long time. He knew that Emo Qingyun's strength was not simple to be acknowledged by Huang Yushang. However, the extent of Emo Qingyun's strength had greatly exceeded his expectations. He did not summon any ghosts to help him, but he was still able to fight Linlong head-on. Huang Yushang had assumed that Emo Qingyun had challenged Linlong and the others because he wanted to deal with the ghost. She did not expect Emo Qingyun to be able to suppress Linlong with his own strength. It seems that I have underestimated him. His combat strength is not something that we can compare to. Huang Yushang sighed inwardly. She was even more in awe of Emo Qingyun's strength. Only those who had seen the number of ghosts in Emo Qingyun's city could understand how terrifying Emo Qingyun's strength was. Linlong is injured. This kid is quite capable. This kid is not easy to deal with. Let's attack together and defeat him with lightning speed. That's good too. We shouldn't waste too much time dealing with a kid from a constellation position. Yang Tianfeng and the rest conversed for a while. They immediately came to a consensus and decided to defeat Emo Qingyun with lightning speed. Then, Yang Tianfeng and the rest no longer hesitated and closed in on Emo Qingyun. I was not able to test my true combat strength in the previous few battles. Today I will fight with all of you. Seeing Yang Tianfeng and the rest closing in on him, Emo Qingyun did not feel the slightest bit of fear. Instead, he exploded with a strong fighting spirit. Bloodline suppression. A terrifying bloodline power exploded from Emo Qingyun's body and enveloped an area of 10 miles. Under the suppression of this bloodline power, everyone's expression changed drastically. They felt that it was difficult to circulate their bloodline. What a terrifying bloodline power! Under the suppression of his bloodline power, I actually have the urge to kneel down. What bloodline is this? Even the top 20 races on the 10,000 Archean tribe board can't compare to this. If I'm not wrong, Emo Tianhuan's bloodline rank might be above the 1,000 illusions. Emo Tianhun has such a terrifying bloodline. His identity must be extraordinary. Sensing Emo Qingyun's bloodline power, everyone was shocked and looked at Emo Qingyun in horror. What a terrifying bloodline power! It's definitely not something the Nether Ghost tribe can compare to. Where did he come from? Under the suppression of Emo Qingyun's bloodline power, Sang Kuan was shocked. He was sure that Emo Qingyun was not from the Nether Ghost tribe. When Sang Kuan said those shocking words, the gray-robed elder beside him said in shock, "If I'm not wrong, Emo Tianhuan's race might be one of the top 10 races on the 10,000 Archean tribe board." One of the top 10 races on the 10,000 Archean tribe board. Hearing the gray-robed elder's words, Sang Kuan and the rest were stunned and couldn't help but tremble. They could only look up to such a race. This guy's bloodline power is so terrifying. Does he need to be a servant? Huang Yushang's eyes widened and her mind went blank. She was even more unfamiliar with Emo Qingyun. In his opinion, with the talent that Emo Qingyun had displayed, no matter which clan he was in, he would be an absolute genius. In that case, why would he need to come to the 1000 Autumn Manor and be an ordinary servant? Puff puff puff. Under the suppression of Emo Qingyun's bloodline power, Yang Tianfeng and the rest all turned pale and spat out blood. Under the suppression of his bloodline power, I can't even circulate my spiritual energy. It seems that we have underestimated him. The difference between our bloodlines is too great. In front of him, my strength is suppressed too much. This can't go on. If we can't defeat him in one blow, we might really lose. Duan Qingfeng and the rest had bitter expressions. They didn't expect Mo Qingyun's strength to be so terrifying. Xiaoza Heavenly Spirit Finger. Inaction Heaven Concealing Finger. Middle Finger of Destruction. Upper Devouring Finger. Great Heavenly Demon Finger. Mo Qingyun released his bloodline power to suppress Yang Tianfeng and the rest. He immediately shot out several fingers. Immediately, waves of terrifying spiritual energy gathered above Yang Tianfeng and the others. Soon, the spiritual energy turned into giant fingers, carrying an ancient and vicissitude aura, and blasted towards Yang Tianfeng and the rest. Seeing these giant fingers blasted towards them, Yang Tianfeng and the rest were shocked. They immediately blocked the 4 giant fingers. Bang bang bang, under the resistance of Yang Tianfeng and the rest, the 4 giant fingers were instantly blasted apart, letting out several shocking sounds. However, the moment the giant fingers were blasted apart, Ma Huaishan and Duan Qingfeng were suddenly sent flying. Puff puff, Ma Huaishan and Duan Qingfeng were sent flying. They spat out blood and their faces turned pale. Seeing Ma Huaishan and Duan Qingfeng's performance, Yang Tianfeng and the rest were shocked and quickly flew towards them. Ma Huaishan, what happened to you two? What's going on? Didn't that kid's finger light blast out get blocked by us? That kid's finger technique is not as simple as it looks. It has the power to hide and hit a cow from a mountain. Looks like we were careless. This kid's technique is very strange. We have to be careful. Guys, we were hit by his finger attack. I'm afraid we can't continue fighting. Ma Huaishan and the rest exchanged a few words. They were even more respectful towards Mo Qingyun. In just a short moment, 3 of them were injured. They could not afford to be careless anymore. A person in the constellation realm had such terrifying strength. If they did not see it with their own eyes, they would not dare to believe it even if they were beaten to death. Mr. Mo is so powerful. He can fight against so many alone and still suppress them. As expected of my family's Shui Tianhun. He's not comparable to those who drink and eat. He's obviously my Shui Tianhun. Don't you dare snatch him. Humph. I'll go ask Daddy now and ask him to marry me and Tianhun. Sister Ran, you're so cunning. I'll go ask Daddy now too. After arguing for a while, the young ladies all ran away. It looked like they were serious and decided to take Mo Qingyun as their Mr. Right. If Mo Qingyun knew what the young ladies were doing, he would not know whether to laugh or cry. Chapter 1629. Didn't you all question my strength? Now that I'm standing here, why don't you all dare to make a move? Looking at the worried expressions of Yang Tianfeng and the others, Mo Qingyun revealed a look of disdain and loudly mocked them. Yang Tianfeng and the others' faces turned even uglier when they heard Mo Qingyun's words. They were half-step golden immortals, yet they were mocked by a kid from a constellation seat. If they didn't react at all, they would become the laughingstock of Thousand Autumn Manor in the future. Kid, don't be so arrogant. Yang Tianfeng's face darkened as he roared at Mo Qingyun. His figure flashed as he charged at Mo Qingyun. As he charged at Mo Qingyun, a brownish-yellow light erupted from his body. Enveloped by this light, Yang Tianfeng's figure began to change, turning into a tall stone golem in the blink of an eye. As Yang Tianfeng's body grew bigger, he waved his huge arm and swept it toward Mo Qingyun. Earth-shattering, Yang Tianfeng's fist exploded with the sound of rolling rocks, carrying with it the force of a landslide. Immediately after, a storm of spirit energy blasted out from Yang Tianfeng's fist. Demon fist shattering starry river. Mo Qingyun didn't shrink back in the face of Yang Tianfeng's fist. He met Yang Tianfeng's fist head-on. After Mo Qingyun punched out, a terrifying wave of immortal spiritual energy condensed on his fist. Immediately after, this astonishing wave of immortal spiritual energy transformed into a huge fist of light. Bang bang bang, under the bombardment of Mo Qingyun's fist, The storm of rocks that Yang Tianfeng had blasted out was instantly shattered. The rocks in the storm of rocks were also blasted into dust by Mo Qingyun's fist. After dispersing the storm of rocks with one punch, Mo Qingyun's fist attack didn't stop and continued to bombard Yang Tianfeng. Seeing Mo Qingyun's relentless attacks, Yang Tianfeng immediately panicked and hurriedly punched out to block Mo Qingyun's fist. Crack! Mo Qingyun's fist collided with Yang Tianfeng's fist, instantly shattering Yang Tianfeng's fist. The crisp sound of bones breaking could be heard. At the same time, Yang Tianfeng was also sent flying by Mo Qingyun's punch. After a short while, Yang Tianfeng regained his balance. Unable to bear the pain in his arm, he screamed, My fist, you actually crippled my fist. What? When Yang Tianfeng and Mo Tianhun collided, Mo Tianhun destroyed his fist. Yang Tianfeng is a genius of the Stone Mountain clan. His body is much stronger than normal people. How could he lose to Mo Tianhun? Where did this Mo Tianhun come from? How could his body be so terrifyingly strong? Seeing Yang Tianfeng's miserable state, everyone was shocked. They were even more afraid of Mo Qingyun now. It was because of his terrifying physical body that Yang Tianfeng enjoyed a certain degree of fame and prestige among the hundreds of races around him. Now, he had actually lost to a Constellation Realm cultivator in a head-on clash of physical strength. This situation really made everyone's jaws drop. It was really beyond everyone's expectations. After witnessing Mo Qingyun's strength once again, no one dared to underestimate Mo Qingyun anymore. Based on the talent that this fellow has displayed, his true background is most likely one of the top 10 races on the 10,000 Archean tribe board. After witnessing Mo Qingyun's terrifying physical body, Sang Kuan could not help but sigh. He no longer doubted that Mo Qingyun came from one of the top 10 races on the 10,000 Archean tribe board. If Mo Qingyun did not come from such a race, how could he have such terrifying strength? Upon hearing Sang Kuan's words, the expression of the gray-clothed elder to the side changed slightly. He probed, This Mo Tianhuan's talent is astonishing and his background is extraordinary. Should we report his situation to Elder Qian Qiuhai? Of course we have to report it. Based on the current situation, even if we don't report it, the clan leader and the elders will know. Hearing the gray-robed elder's suggestion, Sang Kuan shook his head with a bitter smile and said, I did not expect such a demon to appear in this year's servant assessment. Hearing Sang Kuan's words, the gray-robed elder and the rest smiled bitterly. They did not know how to express their feelings. Was this still a servant assessment? Even if all the geniuses of the 1,000 illusions were gathered together for the assessment, no one would be able to compare to Mo Qingyun. What a terrifying physical body. This fellow is simply too abnormal. Is he really a Constellation Realm cultivator? Seeing Mo Qingyun's shocking performance, Huang Yushang's beautiful eyes widened. Her delicate body trembled uncontrollably as she said in horror, This fellow is only a Constellation Realm cultivator, but his strength is already so terrifying. If he breaks through to the Golden Immortal Realm, wouldn't he be able to fight against a Daluo Golden Immortal? This is too abnormal. The more Huang Yushang thought about it, the more frightened she became. Her fear of Mo Qingyun grew even stronger. Under everyone's shocked gaze, Mo Qingyun glanced at Qiong Yuan and said, Only the two of you are left. Don't dilly-dally at the side. Boy, don't be so arrogant. Even if you have some strength, don't be too arrogant. Hearing Mo Qingyun's overbearing words, Qiong Yuan's pretty face turned cold. She waved her long sword and slashed at Mo Qingyun. Qiong Yuan's sword slashed out, and a sword radiance immediately burst out from the long sword. It cut through the air wildly and blasted towards Mo Qingyun. I don't want to attack a woman. Get out of the way. Looking at Qiong Yuan who attacked him, Mo Qingyun's expression turned cold. A sharp light flashed in his left eye. Then, a terrifying soul energy burst out from Mo Qingyun's left eye. This powerful soul energy blasted out from Mo Qingyun's left eye and turned into chains. The soul chains attacked at an extremely fast speed. In the blink of an eye, they blasted into Qiong Yuyan's sea of consciousness. Facing Mo Qingyun's soul attack, Qiong Yuyan's pretty face trembled. Her eyes immediately became hollow. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed. He arrived in front of Qiong Yuyan and blasted a palm towards her. Puff! Facing Mo Qingyun's palm, Qiong Yuyan's face turned pale. She spat out a mouthful of blood. Seeing Qiong Yuyan's state, Wu Rinxing, who planned to attack Mo Qingyun, immediately trembled. He said in shock, "What a terrifying soul energy! How did this family cultivate? They don't even have a trace of weakness." From the battle just now, Wu Rinxing discovered that Mo Qingyun's body, soul, and spiritual energy were all extremely powerful. Needless to say, there was no need to mention those godly divine abilities. After this discovery, Wu Rinxing immediately became depressed. He was completely helpless against Mo Qingyun. He discovered that although the kid in front of him was not at a high level, his strength was truly powerful. There's no need to compete. I admit that your Ding Hao is first in the assessment. After struggling for a while, Wu Rinxing shook his head with a wry smile. He turned around and flew to the side. He knew very well that he was now alone. He was no match for Mo Qingyun. If he continued to fight with Mo Qingyun, he would only end up looking for a beating. Seeing Wu Rinxing admit defeat, the people around him were all shocked. They could not recover for a long time. In this way, the competition came to an end, and Mo Qingyun won in a dominating manner. Did I hear it wrong? Wu Rinxing actually admitted defeat. Mr. Mo is really too powerful. He fought against many alone and still managed to suppress all of them. In my opinion, I'm afraid that it won't be long before Mr. Mo's name spreads throughout the 1,000 illusions. It's not just 1,000 illusions. In my opinion, it wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that his name spreads throughout the wilderness. Now it seems that Mr. Mo really wanted to keep a low profile. He didn't want to fight for the first place in the assessment. For a moment, everyone was whispering to each other. They were full of admiration for Mo Qingyun. This kid actually won. It's unbelievable. Seeing the ending before him, Sang Kuan's expression was filled with emotion. He could not calm down for a long time. Several geniuses who were half a step away from the golden immortal realm were defeated by someone in the constellation realm. This kind of thing was too dramatic. It seems that what the kid said before was true. He really wanted to keep a low profile. Recalling Mo Qingyun's words, the gray-robed elder shook his head and smiled bitterly. I've lived for so many years, but this is the first time I've seen someone want to keep a low profile in a competition. Now it seems that it's not possible for him to keep a low profile. Looking at Mo Qingyun's current performance, Sang Kuan could not help but laugh. He said, "This kid has caused such a big commotion. It makes me very suspicious of what he said before. Does he really want to keep a low profile? Haha, I don't think so. I don't think so either. He can't be retreating in order to advance, right? I'm afraid he doesn't even know what he was thinking at that time." The gray-robed elder and the others laughed and chatted about Mo Qingyun's performance. The gray-robed elder and the others chatted and laughed. Then, they walked up and said, "After the battle just now, everyone should have no objections to Mo Tianhuan's ranking, right?" Everyone was silent. They looked at each other and looked at each other. "If anyone still has objections, you can come out and fight with Mo Tianhun like Yang Tianfeng and the others." In order to convince everyone, the gray-robed elder encouraged everyone to fight with Mo Qingyun. Hearing the gray-robed elder's words, everyone smiled bitterly and became depressed. What kind of joke was this? Even Yang Tianfeng and the others were not Mo Qingyun's match. Wasn't challenging Mo Qingyun the same as seeking death? Since no one has any objections, the first place of the servant assessment is Gui Mo Tianhun. Seeing that no one had any objections, The gray-robed elder announced the results of the assessment and recognized Mo Qingyun as the first place. After announcing the assessment results, the gray-robed elder did not waste any more time and said, "Since the assessment results are out, those ranked 101,000 meters, please leave with Manager Jiang Yi. He will arrange your accommodations." The gray-robed elder raised his hand and pointed at a sturdy middle-aged man beside him, indicating for everyone to leave with him. "Those ranked 100 to 11, please leave with Manager Sang Kuan. He will arrange your accommodations." Chapter 1630. In one of the courtyards of Thousand Autumns Manor. It's said that many geniuses from the surrounding clans have come to recruit servants this time. There are indeed many geniuses. Fairy Yushang, Fairy Flying Jade Swallow, Fairy Old Man, and the others are all here for the servant test. These people will become servants of Thousand Autumns Manor. With proper training, they'll become pillars of strength in the future. That's right. In a few hundred years, they'll be Thousand Autumns Manor's main fighting force. A few old men were sitting in the courtyard, cutting tea and discussing the matter of recruiting servants. While the old men were talking, a few beautiful figures rushed into the courtyard in a hurry. Seeing the appearance of these beautiful figures, the few elders in the courtyard all revealed curious expressions. Greetings to the patriarch and elders. When the girls arrived at the courtyard, they bowed respectfully when they saw the elders in the courtyard. "Ranner, why are you all here?" The patriarch of House Qianqiu, Qianqiu Hongtu, asked curiously when he saw the women in front of him. Qianqiu Ran flashed a sly smile at Qianqiu Hongtu's question. "Grandfather, I met a gentleman today and would like you to act as a matchmaker for me." "Matchmaker?" Qianqiu Hongtu was taken aback by Qianqiu Ran's request. They'd tried to arrange a marriage for Qianqiu Ran in the past, but she'd turned them all down. Who would have thought that she'd come here for this matter? After calming himself down, Qianqiu Hongtu revealed a curious expression. He smiled faintly. "Tell me, who is it that can make our Ranner so interested?" "Grandfather, his name is Mo Tianhan. He's one of the geniuses in the servant test this time." Qianqiu Ran blushed shyly at Qianqiu Hongtu's words and began to tell him about Mo Qingyun. "Someone who's taking part in the servant test?" Before Qianqiu Ran could finish speaking, Qianqiu Hongtu's face darkened and he said angrily, "I don't agree with this. How can my granddaughter become a cultivation partner with a servant?" Qianqiu Hongtu was furious. All of the Dao partners they'd introduced to Qianqiu Ran were geniuses of extraordinary statuses. It was one thing for the girl to reject them, but now she'd taken a liking to a servant? This was ridiculous. "Grandfather," seeing that Qianqiu Hongtu did not agree, Qianqiu Ran's face paled, and she hurriedly begged Qianqiu Hongtu. Before Qianqiu Ran could speak, Qianqiu Hongtu's expression turned cold. He shouted coldly, "Don't mention this again. I will never agree to you becoming partners with Mo Tianhan." "Grandfather," you seeing Qianqiu Hongtu's attitude, the corners of Qianqiu Ran's eyes turned red, and her expression was filled with anger. Qianqiu Hongtu was too much. He didn't even allow her to finish her sentence. He didn't agree to her and Mo Qingyun becoming Dao companions. Seeing Qianqiu Hongtu's attitude, the other girls beside him all revealed expressions of joy and nervousness. They were happy that Qianqiu Hongtu did not agree to Qianqiu Ran becoming Dao companions with Mo Qingyun, which increased their chances of success. On the other hand, they were also worried that if they voiced their thoughts, their elders would oppose them. Looking at the girls' behavior, Qianqiu Hongtu and the others frowned slightly. They vaguely felt that something was wrong. "Momo, you all look so nervous. Did you do something bad again?" An elder beside Qianqiu Hongtu had a solemn expression as he asked Qianhuan Momo sternly. His current actions were firstly to ease the awkwardness in front of him, and secondly, he wanted to know the girl's intentions. This, Qianhuan Momo revealed a shy expression. She looked like she wanted to say something but stopped herself. She said, "Grandfather, Sister Ran and I came here to ask you to be a matchmaker for me." "You want to be a matchmaker too?" The elder's expression froze. His brain couldn't process it. What was going on today? Why did they all come here to be matchmakers? While the elder was surprised, Qianqiu Hongtu's expression turned serious. He looked at the girls beside him and asked, "You girls, are you the same as them? Do you want me to be a matchmaker for you?" The girls looked at each other and finally nodded, admitting their thoughts. Qianqiu Hongtu and the others were dumbfounded. They didn't expect these girls to be here for this. After a short moment of silence, Qianqiu Hongtu revealed a curious expression. He looked at Qianqiu Lan and the other girls and asked, "Tell me, which family do you all fancy? If it's a good match, we can go and take care of it." Hearing Qianqiu Hongtu's words, the elders beside him all revealed curious expressions. We under the gaze of Qianqiu Hongtu and the others, Qianqiu Lan and the other girls stuttered for a long time and said shyly, The person we fancy is young Master Mo Tianhun, whom Ran likes." Did all these girls fancy the same person? Qianqiu Hongtu and the others were stunned again. They felt like their brains couldn't process it. What was going on? Was Mo Tianhun really that outstanding? Nonsense. After a short moment of shock, Qianqiu Hongtu shouted angrily, "What kind of status do you all have? How can you become partners with a servant?" The more Qianqiu Hongtu thought about it, the angrier he got. His impression of Mo Qingyun became worse and worse. How dare this Mo Tianhun play around with the feelings of the girls of Qianqiu Mansion? Qianqiu Hongtu's face was gloomy. A chilling aura exuded from his body, making people shudder. "Master, please calm down. Let them tell us the details first." Seeing the anger on Qianqiu Hongtu's face, Qianqiu Hongji quickly persuaded him and gave Qianqiu Ran and the others a look. Qian Shuran immediately understood Qianqiu Hongji's intention when she saw Qianqiu Hongji winking at her and the others. She said with admiration, "Young Master Mo, he is the most talented among those who came to participate in the servant assessment. His bone age is only 27 years old, but his cultivation has already reached the constellation level." "Wait, what did you just say?" Hearing Qianqiu Ran's words, Qianqiu Hongtu was shocked. He said in shock, "You said that Mo Tianhuan's bone age is only 27 years old, but his cultivation has reached the constellation realm?" "That's right. Everyone saw it," Qianqiu Ran said with certainty. She pointed at Qianqiu Lan and the other girls, implying that all of them had seen it. Seeing Qianqiu Ran's action, Qianqiu Hongtu looked at the girls beside him. He wanted to verify the truth of Qianqiu Ran's words. "Master, Sister Ran is right. Mr. Mo is indeed very talented. I'm sure that even in the entire Qianqiu Mansion, no one can compare to him in terms of talent. Not to mention the Qianqiu Mansion, even in the entire 1,000 illusions, no one can compare to him." Under the gaze of Qianqiu Hongtu and the others, Qianqiu Lan and the other girls spoke seriously about Mo Qingyun's cultivation talent. Seeing Qianqiu Lan and the other girls' reactions, Qianqiu Hongtu and the others frowned and remained silent. "Master, if Miss Ran is telling the truth, this Mo Tianhun is indeed a genius. Such a terrifying cultivation speed is too frightening. Is Mo Tianhun the reincarnation of a saint? Whether or not he's the reincarnation of a saint, he's a rare genius. It's no wonder that these girls are attracted to Mo Tianhun. This person is indeed extraordinary." All the elders had looks of admiration on their faces, seemingly acknowledging Mo Qingyun somewhat. Hearing the elders' words, Qianqiu Hongtu's expression turned for the better. He said, "Ran, tell me about Mo Tianhuan's situation in detail. If you dare to spout nonsense, don't blame me for being impolite." "Yes, grandfather." Hearing Qianqiu Hongtu's words, Qianqiu Ran was overjoyed. She began to describe Mo Qingyun's situation. In her opinion, Qianqiu Hongtu's current behavior showed that he was interested in Mo Qingyun. As Qianqiu Ran continued to speak, the shock on the faces of Qianqiu Hongtu and the others became more and more intense. After a while, when Qianqiu Ran finished, Qianqiu Hongtu and the others fell silent. This Mo Tianhun is only a constellation, but he can fight against so many people and defeat Jade Swallow Fairy and the others. If Miss Rant's words are true, then this child's talent is indeed 1,000 illusions. No one can compare to him. With Mo Tianhuan's terrifying talent, why would he come to 1000 Autumn Mansion to be a servant? Could it be that this boy came to our 1000 Autumn Mansion with a motive? After learning about Mo Qingyun's talent, Qianqiu Hongtu and the others were shocked and worried. He could not believe that someone with such outstanding talent would be willing to be a servant in 1000 Autumn Mansion. Jinan, bring Mo Tianhun here. I want to see him. Qianqiu Hongtu waved his hand and instructed a young man to call Mo Qingyun over. Hearing Qianqiu Hongtu's instructions, the young man nodded and immediately went to summon Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun followed behind the gray-clad old man and arrived at a spacious courtyard. In this courtyard there were a total of 10 palaces. They should be for Mo Qingyun and the others to live in. From today onwards, the 10 of you will live here. While Mo Qingyun was looking at the 10 palaces, the gray-clad old man said to them, "Tomorrow, the Patriarch will summon you and bestow upon you the family name of 1000 Autumn Mansion. From today onwards, you will be a member of 1000 Autumn Mansion." "We understand." Hearing the gray-clad old man's words, Mo Qingyun and the others nodded. At this moment, the young man called Jinan arrived at the courtyard. "Young Master Jinan, why are you here?" Seeing Jinan walk into the courtyard, the gray-clad old man revealed a respectful expression and hurriedly bowed to him. Jinan nodded indifferently in response to the gray-clad old man's greeting. His gaze swept over Mo Qingyun and the others, and he said, "Among them, one of them is Mo Tianhun. Have him come with me to see the Patriarch immediately." "Young Master Jinan, this is Mo Tianhun." Hearing Jinan's question, the gray-clad old man raised his hand and pointed at Mo Qingyun. Following the gray-clad old man's finger, Jinan's gaze landed on Mo Qingyun and he said coldly, "You, come with me." After Qianqiu Wonderful would finish speaking, he walked out of the courtyard. Chapter 1631. Before long, Mo Qingyun followed Qianqiu Agarwood to the courtyard of Qianqiu Hongtu and the others. "Master, elders, Mo Tianhun is here." Qianqiu Agarwood walked into the courtyard and bowed to Qianqiu Hongtu and the others before walking to the side respectfully. Upon hearing Qianqiu Agarwood's words, Qianqiu Hongtu and the others turned to look at Mo Qingyun. "Greetings, Master, elders." Mo Qingyun bowed respectfully before Qianqiu Hongtu and the others. He stood where he was with an indifferent expression. Qianqiu Hongtu and the others nodded continuously when they saw Mo Qingyun's performance. They seemed to have acknowledged Mo Qingyun a little more. "Master, this lad has an extraordinary bearing. He is indeed different from the others. I deliberately released my aura just now. I didn't expect him to be able to remain unmoved under the pressure of my aura. He's not simple. I can feel a strong bloodline pressure from this lad. His bloodline seems to be of an extremely high grade. I can feel it too. The strength of his bloodline is comparable to the top 10 tribes on the 10,000 Archean tribe board. Who exactly is this lad? What is his motive for coming to Qianqiu Mansion?" Qianqiu Hongtu and the others sized up Mo Qingyun while conversing spiritually. The more Qianqiu Hongtu and the others conversed, the more curious and wary he was of Mo Qingyun. "Mo Tianhun, who exactly are you? What is your motive for coming to Qianqiu Mansion?" Qianqiu Hongtu had a solemn expression on his face as he exuded a chilling aura. He charged towards Mo Qingyun and shouted, If you dare to spout any nonsense, don't blame me for being impolite. How powerful! This person's cultivation is much stronger than dragon snakes. Mo Qingyun was slightly shocked when he sensed Qianqiu Hongtu's aura. His expression turned solemn as he said, "Master, I came to Qianqiu Mansion for a lady." Mo Qingyun's words were very tactful. He seemed to have stated his motive, but in fact, he didn't say anything. He was here for a lady? What kind of lady was she? Old? Too little? Mo Qingyun didn't say anything. His answer was too vague. It was just that the speaker didn't mean it, but the listener did. The actions of Qian Shuran and the other women had given Qianqiu Hongtu and the others a preconceived notion. In their opinion, the woman Mo Qingyun spoke of was very likely one of Qian Shuran's group. Immediately, the way Qianqiu Hongtu and the others looked at Mo Qingyun changed drastically. Never in their wildest dreams would they have imagined that this young man with astonishing talent and extraordinary background would actually become a servant of the Thousand Autumns Manor. From the looks of it, this kid was a romantic. When Qian Shuran and the other women heard Mo Qingyun's answer, they all became excited. At this moment, they were all wondering if Mo Qingyun had come to the Thousand Autumns Manor because of them. Qianqiu Hongtu and the others sighed when they saw Qian Shuran and the other women's reactions. They were even more certain of their guess. If they weren't mistaken, Mo Qingyun had come to the Thousand Autumns Manor to become a servant because of these girls. "Master, a grown woman can't be kept at home. I'm afraid these girls' hearts have already fallen for Mo Tianhun. With Mo Tianhuan's talent, he's a good match for Miss Ran and the others. It's just that this kid is too mysterious. We have to investigate this kid's background. Otherwise, it'll be difficult to control him in the future." "I don't think so. The best way to rope this kid in is to become Dao companions with these girls. Although this kid is a bit of a womanizer, he has the right to do so with his astounding talent. Elders, are you going to accept this kid just like that?" Qianqiu Hongtu and the others were conversing again. After conversing with the elders, Qianqiu Hongtu's expression turned solemn. He said coldly, "Speak. Which woman in my manor is so attractive to you that you're willing to enter the Thousand Autumns Manor and even become an ordinary servant for her?" "Master, because my cultivation is still too low, I'm not worthy of her for now. Please forgive me for not being able to reveal her identity." Under the pressure of Qianqiu Hongtu's aura, Mo Qingyun remained calm and refused to answer Qianqiu Hongtu's question. When he heard Mo Qingyun's answer, Qianqiu Hongtu's expression immediately darkened. He said, "Aren't you afraid of angering me by speaking to me in this manner? I'll slap you to death right away." "Of course I'm afraid." Mo Qingyun did not hide his thoughts in response to Qianqiu Hongtu's question. He replied indifferently, however, "I believe that with the patriarch's status, he will disdain to attack me and bicker with a junior like me." Qianqiu Hongtu and the others' expressions changed when they heard Mo Qingyun's answer. They looked at Mo Qingyun in a different light. Mo Qingyun was the first person who dared to speak to Qianqiu Hongtu like that as a Constellation Realm cultivator. "Kid, you really are different from others." Qianqiu Hongtu studied Mo Qingyun carefully and could not help but smile. He praised Mo Qingyun and said, "Since you don't want to say more, I won't force you." "Thank you, Master." Mo Qingyun clasped his hands gratefully when he heard Qianqiu Hongtu's words. "Don't thank me yet." Qianqiu Hongtu waved his hand and his expression became colder as he said, "Kid, you better not play any tricks in my Qianqiu manor. Otherwise, I don't care who you are, I won't show any mercy to you." "I understand." Mo Qingyun nodded. His expression was as calm as ever. Qianqiu Hongtu's opinion of Mo Qingyun improved when he saw Mo Qingyun's reaction. He waved his hand, "All right, you may leave." Mo Qingyun nodded and turned to leave the courtyard. "Grandfather, we'll leave as well." Qian Shuran and the other girls' eyes lit up when they saw Mo Qingyun leave. They excitedly excused themselves. Qianqiu Hongtu and the others shook their heads helplessly when they saw how the girls reacted. They waved their hands at Qian Shiran and the others. Then, Qian Shiran and the other girls chased after Emo Qingyun impatiently. Master, what do you think of this kid? Do you believe his words? After the girls left the courtyard, Qianqiu Hongji asked Qianqiu Hongtu's opinion with a solemn expression. Qianqiu Hongtu was silent for a moment when he heard Qianqiu Hongji's question. He said, "If I'm not mistaken, this kid should be from the Tianhun demon clan. We can't easily punish him. As long as he doesn't cause us any trouble, we'll treat him as an honored guest." Tianhun demon clan? No wonder this kid's bloodline power is so amazing. Master, the Tianhun demon clan has the ability to subdue star generals. Is this kid thinking of subduing our clansmen as star generals? No matter what, the Tianhun demon clan is powerful. We can't afford to offend them. That's right. With this kid's terrifying talent, he must be accompanied by expert. We can't afford to be careless. The more Qianqiu Hongji and the others spoke, the more frightened they became. They were even more afraid of Emo Qingyun. Hearing Qianqiu Hongji and the others, Qianqiu Hongtu shook his head and said with a solemn expression, "It seems that you still don't see how terrifying this kid's talent is." Qianqiu Hongji and the others were curious and waited for Qianqiu Hongtu to explain. Under the gaze of Qianqiu Hongji and the others, Qianqiu Hongtu showed a melancholy expression and said with emotion, "In the past, I was fortunate enough to visit the Tianhun demon clan once and saw some of their geniuses. There were many 9-star Tianhun demon clansmen among them. Their bloodline power was incomparable to Emo Tianhuan's." Master, what do you mean? Emo Tianhuan's bloodline is beyond 9 stars? How is that possible? Isn't 9 stars the highest bloodline among the Tianhun demon clansmen? Is Emo Tianhuan's bloodline mutated? This Emo Tianhun is really mysterious. It's as if he's wrapped in a layer of fog. No one can see through him. Qianqiu Hongji and the others sighed with emotion. Hearing Qianqiu Hongji and the others, Qianqiu Hongtu shook his head with a wry smile and said, "Elders, you may not know this, but I've heard from some seniors in the inner clan that the bloodline level of the Tianhun demon clan is the same as the bloodline level of the other clans. There's a higher level above 9 stars called the King bloodline. If I'm not wrong, Emo Tianhun should have the King bloodline." King bloodline? Hearing Qianqiu Hongji's words, Qianqiu Hongji and the others trembled in disbelief. Looking at the shocked faces of Qianqiu Hongji and the others, Qianqiu Hongtu's expression turned serious and he said in a deep voice, "Our saintess, Qianhuan Yen, has the King bloodline in her body. She has the highest bloodline level in our clan." So the saintess has the King bloodline. Hearing Qianqiu Hongtu's words, Qianqiu Hongji and the others were enlightened and the shock in their hearts eased. Forget it. Let's not talk about Emo Tianhun. Is there any news from the spectral realm? After telling them about Emo Qingyun's talent, Qianqiu Hongtu changed the topic and asked about other things. Hearing Qianqiu Hongtu's words, everyone's expression turned serious as they reported the situation at the spectral realm. Not long after coming out of Qianqiu Hongtu's courtyard, Emo Qingyun was caught up by Qianqiu Ran and the other ladies and was surrounded by them. "Mr. Emo, was the person you were talking about me just now? How could it be you? It must be me. It's me. It must be me, right?" The ladies were all talking at once, and each of them was thinking too highly of themselves. Looking at the ladies' reactions, Emo Qingyun felt a headache coming on. He was unable to react for a while. What the hell was going on? Did he know these ladies? Although he was confused and frustrated, Emo Qingyun did not say what was on his mind. Ladies, even the patriarch did not continue to ask about it. "Please don't force me." To prevent these ladies from pestering him, Emo Qingyun had no choice but to use Qianqiu Hongtu's name to stop them from asking any more questions. Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Qianqiu Ran and the others nodded and did not continue to ask Mo Qingyun about why he came to the Qianqiu residence. Although they did not ask Mo Qingyun about why he came to the Qianqiu residence, they continued to ask about other things. Chapter 1632. After arranging the accommodations for Mo Qingyun and the rest, the gray-robed elder came to Qianqiu Hongtu's courtyard. Ma Yi greets the patriarch and the elders. The gray-robed elder stood in the courtyard and bowed to Qianqiu Hongtu and the rest with a respectful expression. Qianqiu Hongtu nodded indifferently when he saw the gray-robed elder's bow. He said in a low voice, "Are the top 10 in the servant assessment out? Which 10 people are they?" "Master, this is the list of the top 10 in the servant assessment, as well as some information about them." Hearing Qianqiu Hongtu's question, Ma Yi took out a beast skin scroll and handed it to him. Looking at the beast skin scroll that Ma Yi handed over, Qianqiu Hongtu hurriedly raised his hand to take it and checked the information of the 10 people on it. Mo Tianhun ranked first in the servant assessment? Qianqiu Hongtu was shocked when he saw the words on the beast skin scroll. He was very surprised by Mo Qingyun's result. Qianqiu Hongtu put away the beast skin scroll after he saw Mo Qingyun's result. He asked, "Mo Tianhun is only in the constellation realm. How did he rank first in the servant assessment?" Qianqiu Ran and the other girls had told them about Mo Qingyun's situation. However, they did not tell Qianqiu Hongtu and the rest that Mo Qingyun had ranked first in the servant assessment. "Master, this is what happened. Mo Tianhun is only ranked 11th. Ma Yi recounted everything that had happened in detail as Qianqiu Hongtu and the others watched him. Qianqiu Hongtu and the rest were shocked when they heard Ma Yi's explanation. Mo Tianhun purposely held back his strength and did not want to rank among the top 10 in the servant assessment? Master, it seems that Mo Tianhun was not lying when he said that. I'm afraid he really did enter the Qianqiu mansion for a certain girl. With his background, if he really came to ask for her hand in marriage, we might have agreed. Maybe it's just like what he said. He thinks that his cultivation is too low and is not good enough for a certain girl. It seems that he sneaked into the Qianqiu mansion so that he could meet her more." Qianqiu Hongji and the rest whispered to each other as they tried to guess Mo Qingyun's thoughts. "Alright, let him be. As long as he doesn't cause any trouble, we don't have to care about him." Considering Mo Qingyun's identity, Qianqiu Hongtu did not want to interfere too much with Mo Qingyun as long as Mo Qingyun did not go overboard. Qianqiu Hongji and the rest did not say anything else and agreed to Qianqiu Hongtu's arrangement. Qianqiu Hongtu and the others. And the others. And the rest. And the others. And. Receiving the document from Qianqiu Hongtu, Ma Yi was surprised and asked, "Master, did you miss someone? Why isn't Mo Tianhuan's name on it?" Mo Tianhuan's identity is extraordinary. This old man will make other arrangements. There is no need to give him the Qianqiu family name. Qianqiu Hongtu waved his hand indifferently in response to Ma Yi's puzzled question, indicating that Ma Yi did not need to worry about it. Yes, this subordinate will take his leave. Ma Yi did not ask any more questions after hearing Qianqiu Hongtu's instructions. He turned around and left the courtyard. Not long after Ma Yi left the courtyard, Qianqiu Hongtu pondered for a moment and said to Qianqiu Qinan, "Qinan, you will accompany Mo Tianhun in the future and be in charge of all his affairs in Qianqiu Manor." "Yes, Patriarch." Qianqiu Qinan did not dare to refuse Qianqiu Hongtu's order and left the courtyard. From the conversation between Qianqiu Hongtu and the others, he had a good understanding of Mo Qingyun's identity. Although that guy was here to take the servant test, he could not afford to be negligent. Under the escort of Qianqiu Ran and the other girls, Mo Qingyun returned to his courtyard. Seeing Mo Qingyun surrounded by so many girls, Duan Qingfeng and the others were envious and hated Mo Qingyun even more. What was so special about this kid that all the young ladies in Qianqiu Manor admired and adored him so much? Just wait until I break through to the golden celestial stage. See how I'll deal with you then. No matter how talented you are, it's useless if your cultivation level is too low. It's useless if you can't grow. The tallest tree in the forest will be destroyed by the wind. It's not necessarily a good thing to be too ostentatious. Duan Qingfeng and the others looked envious and said words of jealousy one after another. Mo Qingyun did not take Duan Qingfeng and the others' behavior to heart. He said to Qianqiu Ran and the other girls, "Ladies, I've been through many fierce battles today. I'm a little tired now, so I won't keep you company any longer. In that case, we won't disturb Mr. Mo any longer. Mr. Mo, I'll come find you tomorrow. You can't avoid me. Mr. Mo, what do you like to eat? I'll cook for you when I get back. Mr. Mo, your clothes are a little tattered. I'll make you a new one tomorrow." The girls fawned over Mo Qingyun again before reluctantly leaving. Not long after they left, Huang Yushang came to Mo Qingyun's side and smiled slyly at Mo Qingyun. "You're so lucky to be favored by so many young ladies. Tell me honestly, are you here to take the servant test or to flirt with girls at Qianqiu Manor?" Mo Qingyun was speechless. Huang Yushang's curiosity was a little too strong. When Mo Qingyun didn't answer, Huang Yushang's pretty face scrunched up in displeasure. Before Huang Yushang could get angry at Mo Qingyun, Ma Yi hurried over. "Senior." Seeing Ma Yi walk into the courtyard, Mo Qingyun and the others revealed a look of reverence and quickly saluted Ma Yi. "Yes." Ma Yi nodded at Mo Qingyun and the others' actions. He opened the document in his hand and said, "Just now, the head of the family has sent me a decree to confer the family name of Qianqiu Manor. From now on, Fairy Yushang will be Qianqiu Yushang, and Fairy Flying Jade Swallow will be Qianqiu Yuyan." Not long after, Ma Yi read out the contents of the document without missing a word. After hearing Ma Yi read it out, Huang Yushang looked puzzled and asked, "Senior, why isn't Mo Tianhuan's name here? He came in first place in the servant test and should be the first to be conferred the family name." "I don't know about this. I think the head of the family has other arrangements." Ma Yi gave a simple reply and didn't tell the truth. He didn't want to care too much about Mo Qingyun. From Qianqiu Hongtu's words just now, he could tell that Mo Qingyun's matters weren't something he could meddle in. Hearing Ma Yi's reply, Huang Yushang frowned and didn't ask any more questions. Since it was the head of the family's decision, it wasn't up to her to meddle. Humph. The head of the family didn't confer the family name to him. He must be dissatisfied with him. He thinks he has the looks and talent to play with the feelings of the ladies in the mansion. Of course, the head of the family will hate him. The head of the family gave him a light punishment. He only deprived him of the family name. In my opinion, he should be crippled of his cultivation and thrown to the streets to be a beggar. Wu Renxing and the others were gloating and waiting to see Mo Qingyun make a fool of himself. Hearing the words of Wu Renxing and the others, Huang Yushang revealed a nervous expression. Her beautiful eyes were filled with worry as she asked, "Hey, are they telling the truth? Did you really make the head of the family unhappy? They're just a bunch of self-righteous people. They're just speculating. Are you like them?" Mo Qingyun smiled faintly at Huang Yushang's question. He didn't seem to care at all. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, Huang Yushang's expression froze. Her face was full of confusion as she muttered to herself, "This guy always looks so relaxed. Is he really that confident?" When Huang Yushang said this, her curiosity about Mo Qingyun became even stronger. Seeing Huang Yushang's action, Wang Yuheng and the others looked envious. He said, "Fairy Yushang, it's better for you to stay away from a playboy like him." "That's right. This guy is deliberately getting close to you. I'm afraid he has ulterior motives," Song Shiji added. "He has ulterior motives?" Hearing their words, Huang Yushang didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She felt a strong blow. She was the one who kept pestering Mo Qingyun and asking questions about Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun, on the other hand, was indifferent to a beauty like her. This made her very distressed. Just as Huang Yushang was feeling depressed, a young man walked into the courtyard. A young man walked into the courtyard and looked around before his gaze finally landed on Mo Qingyun. Young Master Agarwood. Steward Ma Yi and the others bowed respectfully when they saw the young man walk into the courtyard. Ji Nan nodded indifferently at Ma Yi and the others' greetings. He quickly walked to Mo Qingyun and said, "Young Master Mo, the Patriarch has ordered me to take care of your daily needs from today onwards. If you need anything, just let me know." Ma Yi was dumbfounded. He froze on the spot and his mind went blank. Huang Yushang and the others were petrified. Their eyes were wide open. Steward Ma Yi addressed Agarwood as young master. Obviously, he had an extraordinary status in Thousand Year Mansion. Now, the master of Thousand Year Mansion ordered him to take care of Mo Qingyun. What the hell was going on? Was Mo Qingyun really here to take the servant test? Why did he give off the feeling that he was here to be a boss? The master is so considerate. I'll have to trouble young Master Agarwood to convey my thanks to the master. Mo Qingyun smiled at Agarwood's words and replied politely, "I don't like being served. You can do whatever you want. There's no need to be so enthusiastic. I won't be used to it." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wu Rinxing and the others wailed in their hearts. "Won't be used to it? Kid, you're clearly acting like a boss. Young Master Agarwood put down his pride to take care of you, and you're still not satisfied?" Of course, while Wu Rinxing and the others were displeased, they also felt a strong blow. They were all here to take the servant test. Why was there such a big difference? When they entered Thousand Year Mansion, they didn't even have a servant to serve them. Chapter 1633. Mr. Mo, I understand what you mean. I'll go ask the master now. Qianqiu Jinan smirked, as if he understood Mo Qingyun's expression. He smiled faintly and said, "Mr. Mo, I wonder which cousin you would like to replace me to serve you in your daily life." Hearing Qianqiu Jinan's words, Wu Rinxing and the others all spat out a mouthful of blood. "Qianqiu Jinan, you're the young master of Qianqiu Mansion. Mo Tianhun is just here to be a servant. Do you have to be so courteous to him?" At this moment, Wu Rinxing and the others' envy of Mo Qingyun reached an unprecedented level. "Young Master Jinan, you really don't have to be so courteous. Just do as you please." Seeing Qianqiu Jinan's reaction, Mo Qingyun didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He didn't know what to say. Did he not make himself clear just now? How could this guy have such an idea? What made Mo Qingyun even more speechless was that the more he said this, the greater Qianqiu Jinan's misunderstanding. Ran air, lon air, Mo. These girls all have their own characteristic. It's really difficult for you to choose between them. Qianqiu Jinan's brows furrowed tightly, as if he understood what Mo Qingyun was feeling. He nodded at Mo Qingyun and said, "Since that's the case, I'll go ask the master later to let Ran air, lon air, take turns to serve you. That way you won't have to worry about this." Hearing Qianqiu Jinan's words, Mo Qingyun was instantly dumbfounded. Was there really a problem with the way he expressed himself? Why couldn't Qianqiu Jinan understand him? Or was there a problem with Qianqiu Jinan's understanding? "Mr. Mo, go back to your room and rest first. I'll go and report to the master now." Without waiting for Mo Qingyun to finish speaking, Qianqiu Jinan hurriedly left. Seeing the 1,000 years Agarwood disappear in the blink of an eye, Mo Qingyun revealed a bitter smile. He shook his head gloomily and said, "Why doesn't this fellow understand what I mean? I really don't like being served. I'm here to be a servant." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wu Rinxing and the others were not the only ones who were dissatisfied with Mo Qingyun. Even Steward Ma-e was dissatisfied with Mo Qingyun. Big brother, will you die if you don't act cool? Looking at your current posture, are you here to take the test for a retainer? You're clearly here to be the boss. Seeing that Steward Ma-e and the others had strange expressions, Mo Qingyun didn't say much to them and directly walked into a palace. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, the faces of Wu Rinxing and the others immediately became even uglier. This lad is simply way too arrogant. Wait till I break through my cultivation state, I'll definitely teach him a lesson. Let him be smug for a few days. I'll definitely expose his true colors in the future. Everyone, there's no need to gather here. Go do whatever you need to do. Everyone shot a cold glance at Mo Qingyun before dispersing. This guy is really getting more and more mysterious. Looking at Mo Qingyun's back, Huang Yushang was curious. After pondering for a moment, she also walked into a palace. After entering the palace, Missouri Qingyun walked into a cultivation room and entered the 5-directional small pagoda in a flash. When Mo Qingyun entered the 5-directional small pagoda, he swapped identities with Mo Zai and let her handle some trivial matters for him. I wonder what Qianxiu Qiao's identity is in the Qianxiu mansion? Mo Qingyun sat in the 5-directional small pagoda and was very curious about Qianxiu Qiao's identity. It seems like I can ask Qianxiu Ran and the others when I meet them later. Mo Qingyun had already made up his mind. After making up his mind, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and took out a large amount of immortal stones. The Gate of Devouring. Mo Qingyun took out the immortal stone and used the door of devouring to absorb the immortal spiritual energy contained within the immortal stone. Streams of immortal spiritual energy were extracted from the stones and sucked into the Gate of Devouring. Then, the immortal spiritual energy passed through the Gate of Devouring and into Mo Qingyun's body. Sensing the immortal spiritual energy entering his body, Mo Qingyun immediately circulated his cultivation method and absorbed it. Mo Qingyun entered a state of cultivation and ignored the outside world, wholeheartedly raising his cultivation level. With his current cultivation level, even if he had news of Long Hanyan, it was impossible to rescue Long Hanyan. Mo Qingyun guessed that even if there weren't any saints among the 1,000 illusions, there would at least be 9 heavens arcane immortals. With his current battle strength, if he didn't use the Gate of Fusion, even a perfected golden immortal would have a hard time dealing with him, let alone a 9 heavens arcane immortal. While Mo Qingyun was cultivating, Qianxiu Qiannan, Qianxiu Ran, and the others all came to see him a few times. Naturally, Mo Zai was in charge of receiving everyone who had arrived. In the blink of an eye, 5 days had passed. This Supremacy, Qianxiu Nan invites you to attend a wedding. Mo Zai's soul transmission appeared in Mo Qingyun's mind. Hearing this, Mo Qingyun's expression changed, and he said in surprise, "If I attend a wedding, there will be many unforeseen events. It's not suitable for me to attend." After thinking about it, Mo Qingyun made a decision in his heart. He decided to participate in it himself. The peak of the mid-stage constellation realm. After sensing his cultivation level, Mo Qingyun stopped cultivating and immediately switched identities with Mo Zai. It seems like I'll have to wait until the next time I cultivate if I want to break through to the late-stage constellation realm. After switching identities with Mo Zai, Mo Qingyun walked out of the room to meet Qianxiu Nan, who was waiting outside. Seeing Mo Qingyun come out of the room, Qianxiu Nan smiled apologetically and said, "Mr. Mo, I didn't disturb your cultivation by inviting you to attend the wedding with me, did I?" "No." Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and shook his head as if he didn't care. "It's very boring to cultivate all the time. Young Master Qianxiu inviting me to the wedding is also a way for me to relax. Since I didn't disturb Mr. Mo's cultivation, Qianxiu Nan is relieved." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qianxiu Nan smiled faintly and the expression on his face relaxed a little. Then, Emo Qingyun and Qianqiu Nan walked out of the Qianqiu clan together. On the way to the Qin clan. The Qin clan can be considered to be somewhat famous in Thousand Spirit City. However, in the past million years they have been getting worse with each generation. From Qianqiu Nan's tone, one could tell that he seemed to be somewhat disdainful of the Qin clan. If it weren't for the fact that the Qin clan has been paying tribute to the Qianqiu mansion, I'm afraid that they would have been driven out of Thousand Spirit City long ago. The Qin clan. Hearing Qianqiu Nan's words, Emo Qingyun frowned slightly and a thought flashed through his mind. He thought to himself, could the Qin clan that Qianqiu Nan mentioned be the Qin clan that married Long Hanyan? It can't be so coincidental, right? Mr. Emo, do you know the Qin clan? When he saw the change in Emo Qingyun's expression, Qianqiu Nan revealed a curious expression and immediately asked Emo Qingyun. When he heard Qianqiu Nan's question, Emo Qingyun smiled faintly and shook his head. He replied, I don't know them. I've only heard of them, but I can't remember where exactly. It's just a small clan. Mr. Emo, you don't have to take it to heart. Qianqiu Nan didn't think too much about Emo Qingyun's reply. He didn't question the authenticity of Emo Qingyun's words. He smiled faintly and said, We're going to the Qin clan this time to join in the fun. There's no need to pay attention to anything else. That would be for the best. Emo Qingyun nodded. There was still some distance between the Qin clan and the Qianqiu mansion. Emo Qingyun and Qianqiu Nan walked for about an hour before they arrived at the Qin clan's manor. Young Master Qianqiu, you're here. Come in quickly. When he saw Qianqiu Nan arrive, an old man in embroidered robes immediately came forward to greet him warmly. Qianqiu Nan nodded faintly in response to the old man's actions. Patriarch Qin, you don't have to pay attention to the two of us. We'll just take a walk around. Yes. Do as you wish, young Master Qianqiu. Qin Mo nodded hurriedly when he heard Qianqiu Nan's instructions. He didn't dare continue following Qianqiu Nan. Long time no see, young Master Qianqiu. Meishi, this is young Master Qianqiu. Come quickly and pay your respects to him. Young Master Qianqiu, this is 100,000-year-old white jade blood fat. I hope you don't mind. A few people who recognized Qianqiu Nan came forward one after another to curry favor with him. When he saw their actions, Qianqiu Nan frowned slightly and faintly revealed his displeasure. He had come to the Qin clan today to accompany Emo Qingyun for a stroll, but these people had actually come over to spoil his mood. They really didn't have good eyesight. Seeing that Qianqiu Nan had to deal with everyone, Emo Qingyun also rarely interfered. He turned to Qianqiu Nan and instructed, You deal with these people first. I'll take a walk around. Okay, I'll send these people away and immediately go find you. Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Qianqiu Nan nodded in response and began to deal with the people in front of him. Emo Qingyun and Qianqiu Nan separated. He wandered around the Qin clan and unknowingly came to a loft. In the attic, a woman in a red dress sat silently by the window with a worried expression on her face. It's her. When Emo Qingyun saw the woman's appearance, he couldn't help but reveal a surprised expression. He thought to himself, it seems that this Qin clan should be the Qin clan that married Long Hanyan. Young Master Emo. When Emo Qingyun saw Long Hanyan also saw Emo Qingyun and revealed a surprised expression. She didn't expect that she and Emo Qingyun would meet in this place after being separated for a few days. Mr. Emo, why have you come to the Qin clan? Long Hanyan asked. Misguided me to the Thousand Spirit lineage, so I came to the Thousand Spirit City. In response to Long Hanyan's question, Emo Qingyun smiled faintly and gave a simple explanation. He then said, As for why I came to the Qin clan, it's because I met a friend in the 1,000 Years Manor and was brought to the Qin clan by him. So that's how it is. Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Long Hanyan's face revealed a look of understanding and her expression became worried again. Seeing Long Hanyan's reaction, Emo Chingyun pondered for a moment and said, Miss Hanyan, I have something to say, but I don't know if I should say it. Please speak, young master. Hearing Emo Chingyun's words, Long Hanyan revealed a curious expression and nodded at Emo Chingyun. Chapter 1634. Previously, when I was in Long Mansion, I met a few of Qin Gu's men. They seemed to be looking for something in Qin Mansion. Seeing that Long Hanyan was willing to listen to him, Emo Chingyun no longer hid anything and told her about Wenjiang and the others. Long Hanyan seemed to have expected what Emo Chingyun said. She said with a calm expression, Mr. Emo, Qin Gu did not marry me for good reasons. I have known this for a long time, but I can't do anything about it. At this point, Long Hanyan's face revealed a helpless expression. She sighed and said, In a family like ours, there are many times when women are sacrificed for the family, sacrificed for the sake of the family's benefits. Again. Hearing Long Hanyan's words, Emo Chingyun could not help but think of Ghost Moon Xiao Xiao. He said with a serious expression, Miss Hanyan, if you don't want to marry Qin Gu, I can help you once and let you cancel your marriage with Qin Gu. You? Hearing Emo Chingyun's words, Long Hanyan's eyes lit up, but then her expression dimmed again. It seemed that she did not think that Emo Chingyun had such ability. Long Hanyan said gratefully, Mr. Emo, I am very grateful that you are willing to help me. But the Qin family is very powerful. You'd better not get involved. You don't have to worry about this. I don't care about the small Qin family. Hearing Long Hanyan's words, Emo Chingyun shook his head with a faint smile. He said with a casual attitude, I will go to the main hall of the Qin family later. When you reach the main hall of the Qin family, tell me your thoughts. If you don't want to marry Qin Gu, I will take you out of Qin Mansion directly. Thank you very much, Mr. Emo. Hearing Emo Chingyun's words, Long Hanyan nodded gratefully and said, Please let me think about it. When I go to the main hall, I will tell you my decision. Okay. Emo Chingyun nodded and did not continue to stay. He walked to other places. Looking at Emo Chingyun's back, Long Hanyan revealed a perplexed expression and muttered to herself, He and I have only met by chance, can I trust him? If I leave with him, will I bring him trouble? At this moment, Long Hanyan's feelings were very complicated. She did not know how to decide. Emo Chingyun did not know what Long Hanyan was thinking. Emo Chingyun's idea was very simple. On account of the fact that Long Hanyan had the same name as Long Hanyan, and that she had helped him once, now that Long Hanyan was in trouble, he naturally could not turn a blind eye to it. He wandered around Qin's mansion for a while. 1. Emo Chingyun suddenly felt that the 2 arcane key and the map of the extraterrestrial immortal prison were slightly vibrating. With this discovery, Emo Chingyun's expression immediately changed. He revealed an excited look and said, The arcane key and the map of the extraterrestrial immortal prison have produced some response. This means that there are other arcane keys nearby. Knowing that there were other arcane keys, Emo Chingyun used the map of the extraterrestrial immortal prison to find the location of the arcane key. After some searching, Emo Chingyun found the location of the arcane key. If I'm not wrong, the arcane key that caused the response of the map of the extraterrestrial immortal prison should be on that person. Emo Chingyun's gaze fell on a short and fat middle-aged man, and he silently guessed the possibility in his heart. The middle-aged man's cultivation was not high. He was only a half-step golden immortal of the great all-embracing heaven, a little weaker than Huang Yushang and the others. After knowing the other party's cultivation, Emo Chingyun's lips curled into a faint smile. It was the expression of a hunter looking at his prey. With Emo Chingyun's current means, it would not be too difficult to obtain the arcane key from this person. Just as Emo Chingyun was thinking about how to obtain the arcane key from the short and fat middle-aged man, a cold and arrogant voice sounded. A cold and arrogant voice entered Emo Qingyun's ears. You, come over here. Hearing this voice, Emo Qingyun frowned slightly and could not help but turn his head. He saw a woman in purple with a cold and arrogant expression. She urged Emo Qingyun, Boy, don't look around. The person I'm talking about is you. Why are you still standing there like a fool? Me? Emo Qingyun's expression froze, and he could not help but feel a little amused. Did he know her? This woman was bossing him around like this. That's right, it's you. Seeing that Emo Qingyun still did not move, the woman became even more displeased. She walked directly in front of Emo Qingyun and said, I want a drunken dessert from the drunken brothel. Go and buy one for me immediately. As soon as she finished speaking, she took out some immortal stones and handed them to Emo Qingyun. Seeing this, Emo Qingyun wanted to laugh even more. He asked, Miss, do we know each other that well? Why should I run errands for you? Is this how the servants of the Qin manor treat their guests? Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, the woman frowned and her expression turned even uglier. So you've mistaken me for a servant of the Qin manor. The corners of Emo Qingyun's mouth curled up slightly. He glanced at the woman playfully, then turned around and ignored her. Seeing Emo Qingyun's attitude, the woman's expression changed. She realized that she had mistaken Emo Qingyun's identity. Sir, please wait a moment. Realizing that she had mistaken Emo Qingyun's identity, the woman was still unwilling to give up. She came to Emo Qingyun's side and said, Sir, I want to eat the drunken dessert from the drunken brothel. Are you not willing to go to the drunken brothel for a bit? As she spoke, she continued to throw flirtatious glances at Emo Qingyun, as if she wanted to use her beauty to conquer Emo Qingyun. Unfortunately, Emo Qingyun had never seen such a beauty before. How could he be seduced by such a vulgar woman? Emo Qingyun was currently considering how to get the arcane key from the short, fat man. Now that he had been tricked by this woman again and again, he immediately felt a sense of disgust towards her. He said unhappily, Don't you have legs? If you want to eat it, go buy it yourself. As soon as Emo Qingyun finished speaking, he turned around and no longer paid any attention to the woman. Hearing Emo Qingyun's unromantic words, the woman was furious. She gnashed her teeth and glared at Emo Qingyun. This guy was too hateful. Was this the attitude he should have towards a beautiful woman? While the woman was furious, the short, fat man with the arcane key came to her side and said with a smile, Miss Tang Jing, who made you so angry? Do you want me to teach him a lesson for you? So it's Master Wang Yuan. Hearing the man's words, the woman immediately smiled at him and said, This servant of the Qin manor turned a blind eye to my orders. How infuriating! A mere servant dares to be so arrogant. Looking at Emo Qingyun's back, Wang Yuan's expression was cold and arrogant. He quickly walked in front of Emo Qingyun and shouted, Boy, stop right there. It's you. Looking at Wang Yuan, who was blocking his way, Emo Qingyun's face was full of surprise and a faint smile appeared on his face. He was thinking of a legitimate reason to get the arcane key from the other party. He didn't think that this guy would take the initiative to give it to him. What an unexpected gain. Looking at Wang Yuan in front of him, Emo Qingyun revealed a faint smile. He couldn't help but glance at the woman and thought, It seems like I have to thank that woman. After blocking Emo Qingyun's path, Wang Yuan raised his head and said with a self-righteous attitude, Boy, apologize to Miss Tang Jing immediately. Then, go to the drunken brothel and buy her a drunken dessert. What if I say no? Hearing Wang Yuan's words, Emo Qingyun revealed a playful smile and asked in an indifferent tone. Seeing Emo Qingyun's attitude, Wang Yuan immediately sneered and said proudly, I'm afraid you don't know that young Master Qin Gu and I have been good friends for decades. If you don't want to be punished by young Master Qin Gu, you'd better go and run errands. In that case, go and call Qin Gu over. See if he can give me orders. Emo Qingyun smiled faintly and replied indifferently. He then turned and walked to the side. Seeing Emo Qingyun's attitude, Wang Yuan's face immediately turned cold and his body emitted a cold aura. This brat was so arrogant that he didn't give him any face. If he didn't teach Emo Qingyun a lesson, he would lose face in front of Tang Jing. A brat from a constellation position dares to be so arrogant. It seems that I have to teach you a lesson. After seeing Emo Qingyun's cultivation, Wang Yuan didn't put Emo Qingyun in his eyes. Without hesitation, he stretched out his palm towards Emo Qingyun. Seeing Wang Yuan's action, Emo Qingyun's face turned cold and his body emitted a cold aura. Since you're in a hurry to die, I'll fulfill your wish. As Emo Qingyun's words fell, his left eye flashed and a shocking soul power burst out. The soul power blasted out and turned into the shape of a long spear. It directly bombarded Wang Yuan's sea of consciousness. After being hit by Emo Qingyun's soul attack, Wang Yuan immediately screamed and his face turned pale. At the same time, his attack on Emo Qingyun also stopped because of this. Wang Yuan stopped attacking, but Emo Qingyun didn't. Without hesitation, he blasted a finger towards Wang Yuan. Suddenly, a terrifying demonic aura exploded from Emo Qingyun's body. A strand of immortal spiritual power that emitted a terrifying demonic aura quickly gathered in front of Wang Yuan and turned into a huge finger. Boom! As soon as the finger was formed, it headed straight for Wang Yuan, sending him flying with a blast. Wang Yuan fell to the ground and spat out a mouthful of blood. He looked at Emo Qingyun in horror. He couldn't believe that someone in the constellation position could be so powerful. Hey, isn't that young Master Emo Tianhun? He came to the Qin mansion too? Young Master Emo Tianhuan's talent and strength are shocking. Wang Yuan dared to provoke him. He's really courting death. Humph. I'm sure that if Wang Yuan knew Mr. Mo's identity, he would be scared shitless. Some people recognized Emo Qingyun's identity and were shocked. They sympathized with Wang Yuan. Chapter 1635. You. Who exactly are you? Looking at Emo Qingyun, who was slowly approaching him, Wang Yuan's face was filled with fear. He was extremely afraid of Emo Qingyun. From the reactions of the people around him, he could tell that Emo Qingyun's identity was definitely not simple. Many people present probably knew Emo Qingyun's identity. You are not qualified to know who I am. Emo Qingyun replied to Wang Yuan's fearful words with a faint smile and continued walking towards Wang Yuan. Seeing Emo Qingyun getting closer and closer, the fear on Wang Yuan's face intensified. The newcomer has arrived. Just as Emo Qingyun arrived in front of Wang Yuan and was about to attack him, a voice entered his ears. When Emo Qingyun heard this voice, he stopped what he was doing and said indifferently, "Consider yourself lucky. I will deal with you slowly later." After Emo Qingyun finished speaking, he walked to the side and looked at Qin Gu and Long Hanyan. When Wang Yuan saw Emo Qingyun walking away, he got up from the ground with a lingering fear on his face. Patriarch Wang Yuan, where exactly did that person come from? It seems like many people know him. When Wang Yuan stood up, Tang Jing came to his side and asked about Emo Qingyun's background. I don't know either. Wang Yuan shook his head and looked around. When he saw a familiar figure, he said, Patriarch Gu Hui is over there. Let's go over and ask him. After Wang Yuan finished speaking, he walked towards Gu Hui and asked about Emo Qingyun's background. Patriarch Wang Yuan, you are too bold to provoke young Master Emo Tianhun. When Gu Hui saw Wang Yuan walking in front of him, he did not wait for Wang Yuan to speak and reprimanded him. When Wang Yuan heard Gu Hui's words, he was so frightened that his face trembled. With a panicked expression, he said, Brother Gu, tell me quickly, where exactly did Emo Tianhun come from? I'm not sure about his exact background, but I've heard from others that his background is not simple. Under Wang Yuan's nervous gaze, Gu Hui kept him in suspense. His expression became serious as he said, It is said that Mo Tianhun came to Thousand Spirit City a few days ago and coincidentally encountered Thousand Autumn's Manor recruiting servants. He went to participate in the servant assessment and won first place in the servant assessment. What? First place in the Thousand Autumn's Manor's servant test. Wang Yuan immediately paled in fright when he heard Gu Hui's story. His body began to tremble uncontrollably. He said, "I heard that Fairy Yu Chang, Fairy Yu Yen, and the others have all taken part in the servant test of the Thousand Autumn's Manor. How did Mo Tianhun obtain first place? Is he even stronger than Fairy Yu Chang and the others?" "Brother Wang, don't think that Mo Tianhun's cultivation is not high. He is very powerful." Gu Hui revealed a sympathetic look when he heard Wang Yuan's words. He shook his head and continued, "It is said that after the results of the servant assessment came out, Yang Tianfeng and the others doubted Mo Tianhun's strength. Subsequently, Mo Tianhun challenged Yang Tianfeng and the others and defeated them all by himself. He is actually so strong." Wang Yuan's face turned even paler when he heard about Mo Qingyun's glorious achievements. He said in a panic, "He obtained first place in the servant assessment of Thousand Autumn's Manor. He must have been bestowed with the family name of Thousand Autumns. This kind of person is not someone I can provoke. I've really gotten myself into big trouble. I actually treated this kind of person as a servant of the Qin Manor." Tang Jing's face turned pale when she thought about her actions just now. She could not help but feel a lingering fear. This Gu Hui seemed to think that Wang Yuan and Tang Jing were not scared enough. He continued to talk about Mo Qingyun. "Didn't you notice just now? Qianxiu Wonderful Wood accompanied Mo Tianhun to the Qin Manor. Looking at Qianxiu Wonderful Wood's behavior just now, he seems to be very afraid of Mo Tianhun." "What? Qianxiu Wonderful Wood is afraid of Mo Tianhun?" Wang Yuan's expression became even more frightened when he heard Gu Hui's words. What exactly was going on? Wasn't Mo Tianhun the servant assessment? Why would Qianxiu Wonderful Wood be afraid of him? While Wang Yuan was distracted, Long Hanyan, who was beside Qin Gu, clenched her fist. She turned around and walked toward Mo Qingyun. She said, "Mr. Mo, I've already thought about it. I don't want to marry Qin Gu. Take me away." Everyone's eyes widened when they saw Long Hanyan's actions. They felt that their brains were not enough to process it. Was she trying to snatch the bride? Young Master Mo Tianhun is really awesome. He actually came to the Qin Manor to snatch the bride. If it were me, I would also marry young Master Mo Tianhun. He is much more powerful than Qin Gu. This Long Hanyan is really lucky. Young Master Mo Tianhun actually took a liking to her. Everyone started to talk about Long Hanyan's actions. Mo Tianhun actually wants to snatch the bride. Seeing Long Hanyan's actions, Wang Yuan was so scared that his face trembled. Cold sweat broke out on his back. Mo Qingyun even dared to snatch Qin Gu's woman. He actually used Qin Gu to scare Mo Qingyun. This was really ridiculous. "Kid, who are you?" Seeing Long Hanyan's actions, Qin Gu's face turned cold. His eyes were filled with killing intent. He shouted, "You better give me a reasonable explanation. Otherwise, even if today is my big day, I will cut you into 8 pieces and let your blood splatter on the spot." "It's him." When Qin Gu looked at Mo Qingyun coldly, Wen Zhen, who was behind him, recognized Mo Qingyun. It was this kid who snatched their map of the extraterrestrial immortal prison in the Long Mansion a few days ago. "Wen Zhen, do you know this kid?" Seeing the changes in Wen Zhen and the others' expressions, Qin Gu showed a cold expression and quickly asked them. Hearing Qin Gu's question, Wen Zhen and the others nodded and said angrily, "Young Master Qin Gu, it was this kid who snatched the map of the extraterrestrial immortal prison from the Long Mansion. So it's you who ruined my plans." Hearing the words of Wen Zhen and the others, Qin Gu's face turned even darker. His killing intent towards Mo Qingyun became even stronger. He said angrily, "Kid, you ruined my plans. How dare you come to the Qin mansion and snatch the woman that I, Qin Gu, fancy? I think you are really tired of living. Men, capture this brat for me right now." With new and old grudges, Qin Gu couldn't care less. He immediately ordered the guards of the Qin mansion. Hearing Qin Gu's order, the guards of the Qin mansion immediately rushed over and surrounded Mo Qingyun. Seeing this scene, the surrounding people immediately retreated in all directions. At this moment, when everyone was retreating, Qianqiu Redwood, who was talking to someone at the side, noticed the commotion. "Mr. Mo is surrounded by the people of the Qin mansion?" Seeing this scene, Qianqiu Redwood was shocked. He immediately rushed over and shouted, "How dare you treat Mr. Mo like this? Does the Qin mansion want to become history?" Young Master Redwood, please calm down." Hearing Qianqiu Redwood's words, Qin Mo was so scared that his body trembled. He ran over to comfort Qianqiu Redwood. There was no other way. Qianqiu Redwood wasn't joking. If Qianqiu Redwood was unhappy, he could go back and tell Qianqiu Hongtu and the others. Destroying the Qin family was just a matter of minutes. "Young Master Redwood, you and him," seeing Qianqiu Redwood protecting Mo Qingyun, Qin Gu's face turned even uglier. It was as if he had eaten shit. If the 1,000 Years Agarwood really wanted to protect Mo Qingyun, then no matter how unhappy Qin Gu felt, he could only endure it. "Mr. Mo is an important guest of the Qianqiu mansion. If you dare to disrespect him, you are disrespecting the Qianqiu mansion." Hearing Qin Gu's angry words, Qianqiu Redwood replied coldly. He looked like he was going to protect Mo Qingyun until the end. Seeing Qianqiu Redwood's reaction, Qin Gu and Qin Mo looked at each other and quickly communicated with their eyes. They knew very well that today's marriage was going to be snatched away. With so many people here, they didn't dare to do anything to Qianqiu Redwood unless they wanted the Qin family to be destroyed. "We don't dare." Under Qianqiu Redwood's gaze, Qin Mo and Qin Mo were terrified. They unwillingly replied, "Young Master Redwood, isn't he participating in the Qianqiu mansion's servant test? How did he become an important guest of the Qianqiu mansion?" "Do I need to explain this to you?" Qianqiu Nan's face was filled with displeasure as he retorted coldly. Hearing Qianqiu Redwood's words, Qin Mo immediately shut his mouth. He didn't dare to ask any more questions. "Let's go." Seeing that Qianqiu Redwood had come to resolve the situation, Mo Qingyun didn't want to make a move. He instructed Long Hanyan. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Long Hanyan was shocked. She silently followed Mo Qingyun and left. From the beginning to the end, she couldn't believe that Mo Qingyun had such power. Young Master Mo, please wait." After seeing Mo Qingyun's methods, Wang Yuan could no longer maintain his calm. He quickly chased after Mo Qingyun. When Wang Yuan caught up to Mo Qingyun, Tang Jing also caught up. Her face was as pale as a sheet of paper. Plop! Soon, Wang Yuan and Tang Jing arrived in front of Mo Qingyun and knelt down in front of Mo Qingyun. He was scared. He was really scared. Even a family like the Qin's mansion didn't dare to say anything when Mo Qingyun took away their bride. Wang Yuan was just a small figure. He was arrogant in front of Mo Qingyun. If he didn't apologize, he would be in trouble. Wang Yuan knelt down in front of Mo Qingyun. With a long face, he begged Mo Qingyun, "Mr. Mo, I'm a snob. Someone doesn't know Mount Tai. I hope you can be magnanimous and forgive me." "Wang family head, what are you doing? You are young Master Qin Gu's best friend. I don't dare to accept your kneeling." Looking at Wang Yuan's actions, Mo Qingyun sneered and mocked Wang Yuan. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wang Yuan was on the verge of tears. He couldn't care less about his face and hurriedly said, "Young Master Mo, Grandpa Mo, please spare your grandson this time. I won't dare to do it again." Seeing Wang Yuan's reaction, Mo Qingyun ignored him and said coldly, If you want me to forgive you, come to the Thousand Autumns mansion and find me later. Now, get lost. After Emo Qingyun finished speaking, he left with Long Hanyan. Yes. Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Wang Yuan was relieved. He quickly kowtowed to Emo Qingyun and thanked him. Chapter 1636. On the way back to Qianqiu Manor. Mr. Emo, I'm afraid it's not appropriate for you to bring Miss Long back to Qianqiu Manor. Looking at Long Hanyan, Qianqiu Nan frowned and reminded Emo Qingyun. In his opinion, if Qian Shuran and the other girls knew that Emo Qingyun went to the Qin clan to kidnap the bride for Long Hanyan, they would definitely hate him. Qian Shuran and the other girls would definitely hate Long Hanyan and think of ways to make things difficult for Long Hanyan. Hearing Qian Nan's words, Long Hanyan's face immediately tensed up and she looked at Emo Qingyun nervously. If Emo Qingyun didn't bring her to Qianqiu Manor, she would be in trouble if she was caught by Qin Gu. Sir Qianqiu Nan is right. If I bring Miss Hanyan to Qianqiu Manor, it will cause unnecessary trouble. Emo Qingyun nodded and agreed with Qianqiu Nan's words. He was thinking about how to solve this problem. While Emo Qingyun was thinking, his gaze fell on Qianqiu Nan and he immediately had a good idea. He smiled and said, Sir Qianqiu Nan, with your status in Qianqiu Manor, it shouldn't be a problem for you to bring a girl back, right? Hearing Emo Qingyun's question, Qianqiu Nan smiled bitterly and felt extremely depressed. Emo Qingyun was dragging him down. If Qian Shuran and the other girls knew that he helped Emo Qingyun bring another girl back to Qianqiu Manor, he would definitely end up in a miserable state. But at this juncture, it was probably impossible for him not to agree to Emo Qingyun's request. Thinking of this, Qianqiu Nan wanted to slap himself a few times. Why was his mouth so annoying? Why did he have to bring up this matter and put himself in a dilemma? No problem, leave it to me. Although he was extremely unwilling, Qianqiu Nan still nodded and agreed. Seeing Qianqiu Nan agree, Emo Qingyun smiled with satisfaction and Long Hanyan's expression relaxed. After settling the matter of taking in Long Hanyan, Emo Qingyun and the other two chatted as they walked. Before they knew it, they had arrived at Thousand Autumns Manor. Mr. Emo, I will arrange accommodation for Miss Hanyan now. Walking into Qianqiu Manor, Qianqiu Ajinan gave Emo Qingyun some instructions, then walked forward. Seeing this, Emo Qingyun nodded at Long Hanyan, indicating for them to follow the 1,000 Years Redwood. Mr. Emo, I refuse to marry Qin Gu. What if he takes revenge on the Long family? Long Hanyan walked beside Emo Qingyun. She had a worried expression on her face, and wanted Emo Qingyun to give her some advice. With regards to Long Hanyan's question, Emo Qingyun seemed to have already expected it. With an indifferent expression, he said, Don't worry, I will not give the Qin clan the chance to take revenge on the Long clan. Thank you, Mr. Emo. Hearing Emo Qingyun's reply, Long Hanyan had a grateful expression on her face. She did not doubt Emo Qingyun's words at all. After the incident at Qin Manor, her trust in Emo Qingyun had already been deeply rooted in her bones. Although this young man's cultivation was not strong, the methods and abilities he possessed were unimaginable. Not long after, under the arrangement of Qianqiu Ajinan, Long Hanyan stayed in a quiet courtyard. After arranging Long Hanyan's accommodation, Emo Qingyun did not stay any longer and left Long Hanyan's courtyard. After Emo Qingyun left Long Hanyan's courtyard, Qianqiu Ajinan left with him. He promised Emo Qingyun, Mr. Emo, don't worry. With me in Thousand Autumns Manor, no one will dare to make things difficult for Miss Hanyan. Thank you, young Master Ajinan. Hearing Qianqiu Ajinan's words, Emo Qingyun nodded in response and thanked Qianqiu Ajinan. After that, Emo Qingyun exchanged a few words with Qianqiu Ajinan before he returned to his own residence. When Emo Qingyun returned to his residence, Wang Yuan and Tang Jing were already waiting outside his palace. Mr. Mo, you're back. Seeing Mo Qingyun walk into the courtyard, Wang Yuan and Tang Jing immediately went up to him. Their faces were filled with fear. Come in. Mo Qingyun said coldly when he saw Wang Yuan and the other man approaching. Then, he walked into the palace. Hearing Mo Qingyun's order, Wang Yuan and Tang Jing quickly followed Mo Qingyun into the palace. Thump, thump. As soon as Wang Yuan and Tang Jing entered the palace, they knelt down in front of Mo Qingyun. Mr. Mo, we were wrong. Please give us a chance to change. Young Master Mo, I have eyes but failed to see. I hope that you will be magnanimous and not lower yourself to my level. Wang Yuan and Tang Jing knelt on the ground and begged Mo Qingyun. Seeing Wang Yuan and Tang Jing's actions, Mo Qingyun's face was filled with disgust. He disliked them even more. The two of them were typical bullies who feared the strong and bullied the weak. Do you have a key like this on you? Mo Qingyun didn't waste time talking nonsense with Wang Yuan. He directly took out an arcane key and questioned Wang Yuan. Seeing the arcane key in Mo Qingyun's hand, Wang Yuan was shocked. He quickly took out the arcane key and said, Mr. Mo, are you talking about this key? If Mr. Mo likes it, I'll give it to Mr. Mo now. Wang Yuan didn't care so much now. As long as Mo Qingyun promised not to kill him, he would even give him his mother, let alone a key. It really is the arcane key. Taking the key from Wang Yuan, Mo Qingyun smiled in surprise and thought, this way I have 3 keys. With 3 more arcane keys, I can open the extraterrestrial immortal prison. I wonder what's in the extraterrestrial immortal prison? You can get out now. Don't let me see you again. Mo Qingyun collected his thoughts and shouted angrily at Wang Yuan with a disgusted expression. Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wang Yuan immediately revealed a pleasantly surprised expression. He said gratefully to Mo Qingyun, many thanks. Young Master Mo's great kindness and benevolence, I won't haggle with this brat. This lowly one will scram right away. After Wang Yuan finished speaking, he scrambled out of Mo Qingyun's palace. Mr. Mo, I know I was wrong. Please give me a chance to make up for it. Seeing Mo Qingyun looking at her, Tang Jing was terrified. She quickly apologized to Mo Qingyun and begged for mercy. After Tang Jing begged Mo Qingyun for mercy, she began to undress, as if she was offering her body to Mo Qingyun. Seeing Tang Jing's actions, Mo Qingyun was startled. He shouted angrily at Tang Jing, Okay, you can leave now. Don't let me see you again. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Tang Jing was shocked. She looked at Mo Qingyun with resentment. She was already like this, but Mo Qingyun was still indifferent. Was her charm really that bad? Although Tang Jing was unhappy, she didn't dare to stay. She immediately got up and walked out of the palace. Coincidentally, when Tang Jing walked out of the palace, she was seen by Huang Yushang, who was passing by. Seeing this, Huang Yushang frowned and slowly walked into the palace. When she came in front of Mo Qingyun, Huang Yushang smiled slyly and said, Mr. Mo, so this is your type. No wonder you're indifferent to Miss Qian Shuran and the others. Hearing Huang Yushang's words, Mo Qingyun felt a headache coming. This girl was always talking about that. Miss Yushang, I'm afraid you've misunderstood. Mo Qingyun shook his head and explained simply. What made Mo Qingyun want to vomit blood was that Huang Yushang heard his explanation and said with a playful expression, You don't have to explain to me. I won't tell Miss Qian Shuran and the others about this. Mo Qingyun was speechless. He was defeated by Huang Yushang. Mo Qingyun was silent for a while. He didn't want to dwell on the topic of Tang Jing, so he said, Miss Yushang, you didn't come here to make fun of me, did you? Of course not. Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Huang Yushang's expression immediately turned serious. She said in a low voice, Just now I received a message from a good friend. A desolate ancient mystic realm has appeared in the phantom abyss. It said that primordial spirit dew has appeared there. I wonder if you're interested in going together? Primordial spirit do? What's that? Mo Qingyun looked puzzled and asked Huang Yushang unconsciously. You don't know what primordial spirit do is? You're not joking with me, right? Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Huang Yushang's eyes widened. She looked at Mo Qingyun as if he were a monster. In her opinion, there should be no one who didn't know about a rare treasure like primordial spirit dew. After carefully sizing up Mo Qingyun and confirming that Mo Qingyun wasn't lying, Huang Yushang said, Primordial spirit dew is an extremely rare spiritual item of heaven and earth. It contains primordial spirit qi and can nourish damaged magic treasures. It can nourish damaged magic treasures. Mo Qingyun's eyes lit up. He was interested in this primordial spirit dew. If he obtained the primordial spirit dew, wouldn't he be able to nourish the Godshooter Bow and Tiger Soul and repair them? Once the Godshooter Bow and Tiger Soul were repaired, he would be able to use these two weapons. His strength would undergo an earth-shattering change. While Mo Qingyun was making plans, Huang Yushang continued, not only that, but all magic treasures nourished by primordial spirit dew will have a slight increase in grade. There's actually such a wonderful use. The more Mo Qingyun listened, the more excited he became. He had strong expectations for the primordial spirit dew that Huang Yushang mentioned. After calming down, Mo Qingyun put on a solemn expression and asked, When are you leaving for the Phantom Spirit Abyss? I'll leave tomorrow. Huang Yushang replied happily when she saw that Mo Qingyun was interested. Tomorrow? Mo Qingyun frowned slightly. After pondering for a while, he muttered to himself, Time is too tight. I'm afraid I won't make it. After a moment of silence, Mo Qingyun asked Huang Yushang, Can you wait for me for 3 days? Hearing Mo Qingyun's request, Huang Yushang revealed a hesitant expression. She silently calculated the time in her heart. Huang Yushang hesitated for a while, then nodded at Mo Qingyun and said, Okay, I'll come to your palace in 3 days. After that, Huang Yushang chatted with Mo Qingyun for a while before leaving Mo Qingyun's palace. Chapter 1637. Night came quietly. It's dark. It's time to go to the Qin clan. Looking at the darkening sky, a faint smile appeared on Mo Qingyun's face. He stood up and walked out of the hall. On the quiet and deserted city road, Mo Qingyun turned into an afterimage and quickly arrived at the Qin mansion. To prevent unnecessary trouble, I'll set up a formation first. Mo Qingyun stood inside the Qin mansion. He immediately took out some materials for setting up arrays and began to set up arrays in the Qin mansion. Under Mo Qingyun's arrangement, the materials were placed in every corner of the Qin clan. With Mo Qingyun's method of setting up a formation, the guards of the Qin clan wouldn't be able to detect it. As time passed, the array formation that Mo Qingyun had set up gradually became more and more complete. In the blink of an eye, 2 days had passed. After 2 days of setting up the formation, Mo Qingyun finally completed it and covered the entire Qin clan. Seeing that the formation was completed, Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate and immediately went to find Qin Gu and the others. Father, that brat is just lucky to be valued by Patriarch Qianqiu. Why should we be afraid of him? In the room, Qin Gu's angry words were mixed with disdain for Mo Qingyun. Hearing Qin Gu's dissatisfied words, Qin Mo's face gradually turned cold. He said angrily, Mo Tianhun is valued by Qianqiu Hongtu. We can't touch him. I don't believe that Qianqiu Hongtu will protect the Long clan. Father, are you thinking of? Hearing Qin Mo's words, Qin Gu sneered. He knew what Qin Mo was thinking. It seemed that Qin Mo wanted to take revenge on the Long clan to vent the anger in his heart. Although the Long clan has declined, it's still a clan with a long history. Their foundation is still very deep. When Qin Mo talked about the Long clan, greed appeared on his face. He said, Long Hanxing has the mysterious spirit Celestial Blade. That's a quasi-saint weapon. Our Qin clan only has 3 of such powerful weapons. Alright, I'll go gather my men and exterminate the Long family. Hearing Qin Mo's words, Qin Gu sneered and walked out of the house. You don't have to gather your men. Just as Qin Gu was about to leave, a cold voice entered his ears. Hearing this cold voice, Qin Gu's face sank. He shouted coldly, "Who is it? Who was hiding in the dark? Get the hell out of here!" Before Qin Gu could finish his words, a force wrapped around his neck and lifted him off the ground. Qin Gu was lifted up from the ground. His face immediately turned red, and he couldn't say anything else. Mo Qinyun lifted Qin Gu up, and his figure gradually appeared in front of Qin Gu and Mo Qinyun. You? Why are you here? Mo Tianhun, don't go too far. Looking at Mo Qinyun in front of them, Qin Mo and the other man were greatly alarmed. Their expressions were filled with fear. They didn't expect Mo Qinyun to appear at this time and eavesdrop on their conversation. I'll give you 2 a choice. Submit to me or die. Mo Qinyun chose to ignore Qin Mo and the other man's words and spoke coldly. Hearing Mo Qinyun's words, Qin Mo and the other man were shocked. They were angry, but they didn't dare to say anything. They were afraid that if they rejected Mo Qinyun would kill them in anger. Mo Tianhun, I'm willing to submit to you. Please don't kill me. Sensing Mo Qinyun's cold aura, Qin Gu immediately begged for mercy. He didn't dare to challenge Mo Qinyun's bottom line. He knew very well that if he was killed by Mo Qinyun, the Qin family wouldn't dare to avenge him. Although Mo Qinyun wasn't from the Thousand Autumns mansion, Mo Qinyun gave people the feeling that he was more honorable than the people from the Thousand Autumns mansion. You! Ignoring the begging Qin Gu, Mo Qinyun turned to Qin Mo and waited for his decision. Qin Mo was a perfected golden immortal and the patriarch of the Qin family. His status was much higher than Qin Gu's. If he could subdue Qin Mo, it would be much easier for him to take over the Qin family. Hearing Mo Qinyun's question, Qin Mo hesitated. When Qin Mo saw the dying Qin Gu in Mo Qinyun's hands, he finally made a decision. He gritted his teeth and said, "Fine, I'll submit to you. Please let Qin Gu go immediately. Open up your sea of consciousness first. Let me plant a soul imprint in it." Mo Qinyun didn't agree to Qin Mo's request immediately. Instead, he ordered coldly. Qin Mo's face turned ugly when he heard Mo Qinyun's words. He shouted angrily, "Mo Tianhun, don't go too far. Don't push your luck just because you have the protection of the Thousand Autumns mansion." So what if I push my luck? Mo Qinyun didn't care about Qin Mo's anger at all. He continued to ask in an unyielding tone. Seeing Mo Qinyun's attitude, Qin Mo was furious. He pointed at Mo Qinyun but couldn't say anything. After glaring at Mo Qinyun for a few breaths of time, Qin Mo suppressed the anger in his heart and threatened, "Mo Tianhun, I know your talent is outstanding. However, this is our Qin family after all. We can kill you here before the Thousand Autumns mansion realizes it." "You can try." Mo Qinyun revealed a playful smile and shrugged at Qin Mo. He seemed to be encouraging Qin Mo to make a move. Seeing Mo Qinyun's behavior, Qin Mo's expression turned solemn. He was immediately afraid of Mo Qinyun. In his eyes, Mo Qinyun's current behavior was too abnormal. If he wasn't mistaken, Mo Qinyun must have some powerful trump card to be so fearless. "My patience is limited. I'll give you 10 breaths of time to consider." Looking at Qin Mo in front of him, Mo Qinyun revealed an impatient expression and urged Qin Mo to make a decision. When he heard Mo Qinyun's words, Qin Mo's expression immediately tensed up. He was struggling fiercely in his heart. Should he choose to submit to Mo Qinyun in order to save Qin Gu? Or should he ignore Qin Gu and fight Mo Qinyun to the end? While Qin Mo was still hesitating, Emo Qingyun raised Qin Gu high up in the air. He gradually increased the strength of his grip on Qin Gu's hand. Under Emo Qingyun's increased strength, Qin Gu's breathing became more rapid and his face paled. Gu-er. Seeing Qin Gu's reaction, Qin Mo revealed a pained expression. He finally made a decision and shouted, "Put Gu-er down and I'll open up my sea of consciousness. I'll let you plant a soul imprint in it. You have no choice." Emo Qingyun's expression was cold and indifferent. He increased the strength of his hand. Seeing Emo Qingyun's action, Qin Mo was so angry that he gritted his teeth. In the end, he gave in and said, "Don't hurt Gu-er. I'll let you plant a soul imprint in my sea of consciousness." Shortly after, Emo Qingyun planted a soul imprint in Qin Mo's sea of consciousness. After planting a soul imprint in Qin Mo's sea of consciousness, Emo Qingyun planted a soul imprint in Qin Gu's sea of consciousness. Go and bring all the great overarching golden immortals of the Qin manor here. After subduing Qin Gu and Qin Mo, Emo Qingyun didn't waste time talking nonsense with them and directly ordered them. Yes. Hearing Emo Qingyun's order, Qin Mo and Qin Mo didn't dare to hesitate. They immediately summoned the great overarching golden immortals of the Qin manor. Not long after, a great overarching golden immortal of the Qin manor was brought to Emo Qingyun. "Master, Elder Qin Ufa is here." After bringing the elder here, Qin Mo reported to Emo Qingyun and made a move on Qin Ufa. This was Emo Qingyun's order. Bang! After being ambushed by Qin Mo, Qin Ufa was immediately sent flying. The aura on his body decreased sharply and he said in shock, "Patriarch, you guys actually, I'll give you a choice now. Either you submit to me like Qin Mo or I'll kill you right now." Without waiting for Qin Ufa to finish speaking, Emo Qingyun interrupted him, emitting a chilling aura from his body. Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Qin Ufa's eyes turned dark. He stared at Emo Qingyun and shouted angrily, "Emo Qingyun and Qin Mo are afraid of you, but I, Qin Ufa, am not afraid of you. Moreover, even if I, Qin Mo, am severely injured, he can't stop me. What if they join in?" As soon as Qin Ufa finished speaking, several great overarching golden immortal auras suddenly appeared on Emo Qingyun's body. 8 great overarching golden immortals. Sensing Emo Qingyun's powerful aura, Qin Mo and Qin Mo's expressions changed. They were extremely respectful of Emo Qingyun and said in shock, "No wonder Master wasn't afraid of me when I threatened him. It turns out that he has so many experts by his side." With the number of experts by Master's side, even without the protection of Thousand Autumn's mansion, our Qin mansion can't do anything to him. Looking at Gu Lanshan and the others beside Emo Qingyun, a bitter expression appeared on Qin Gu's face. He was aware of the gap between him and Emo Qingyun. "You? Who are you exactly?" Looking at Gu Lanshan on Emo Qingyun's body, Qin Ufa's face was filled with fear as he questioned Emo Qingyun. Emo Qingyun ignored Qin Ufa's question and said coldly, "You're not qualified to know who I am. Answer me now. Are you going to submit or die?" "I submit." Looking at Gu Lanshan and the others beside Emo Qingyun, Qin Ufa chose to submit. He didn't want to risk his life. After a while, Emo Qingyun also planted a soul mark in Qin Ufa's sea of consciousness. Subsequently, the great overarching golden immortals in Qin Mansion were subdued by Emo Qingyun one by one. A few hours later, all the great overarching golden immortals were subdued by Emo Qingyun. At the same time, the Qin clan was silently and completely under Emo Qingyun's control. I'm afraid no one would have thought that the Qin family would be controlled by me. Looking at Qin Mo and the others in front of him, Emo Qingyun smiled faintly. He was satisfied with his harvest and asked, "Qin Gu, what kind of place is the extraterrestrial immortal prison that you mentioned? What's in the extraterrestrial immortal prison?" Extraterrestrial immortal prison? Chapter 1638. From Qin Gu's description, Mo Qingyun knew what kind of place the extraterrestrial immortal prison was. It turned out that the extraterrestrial immortal prison was a place where primordial demons were imprisoned. There were countless primordial experts imprisoned inside. Even the weakest among them had reached the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm. Some demons with terrifying strength were even close to being immortal and indestructible. Even if you destroyed them now, it wouldn't take long for them to reincarnate. In order to prevent them from reincarnating and wreaking havoc in the world again, they were imprisoned in the extraterrestrial immortal prison. It seems that if I collect the arcane key and open the extraterrestrial immortal prison, wouldn't countless demons be released? After hearing Qin Gu's description, Mo Qingyun was shocked and couldn't help but feel a lingering fear. He originally thought that the extraterrestrial immortal prison was a primordial ruin with many treasures inside. He didn't expect that not only were there no treasures in the extraterrestrial immortal prison, but there were also countless demons imprisoned inside. This discovery frightened Mo Qingyun quite a bit. Thinking of this, Mo Qingyun revealed a curious expression and asked Qin Mo, "Since you know that there are countless demons imprisoned in the extraterrestrial immortal prison, why did you collect the map of the extraterrestrial immortal prison and want to open it?" Replying to Master, "Rumor has it that our Qin family's ancestor is also imprisoned in the extraterrestrial immortal prison." Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Qin Mo gave a simple reply and said with a difficult expression, "Now, our Qin family is getting worse with each generation. We want to open the map of the extraterrestrial immortal prison and let our ancestor return to revive the Qin family." "I see." Mo Qingyun nodded in understanding. He could understand Qin Mo's thoughts. It was understandable that Qin Mo would do something selfish in order to revive the Qin family. "If I'm not wrong, your Qin family should also have the arcane key, right?" Mo Qingyun didn't expect Qin Mo to be searching for a map of the extraterrestrial immortal prison. He guessed that Qin Mo had a few arcane keys. Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Qin Mo didn't dare to hide anything. He immediately took out 2 keys and said, "Master, we only have 2 arcane key. Since you want it, I'll give it to you." "Yes." Mo Qingyun nodded. He took the arcane key from Qin Mo and put it away happily. Although the outer realm immortal prison was a dangerous place, he put away his arcane key. Perhaps it would be useful in the future. In Mo Qingyun's mind, it wouldn't be long before the Dark Devil race made a comeback. Once the Dark Devil race made a comeback and plunged the entire desolate continent into chaos, he wouldn't let those demons out. With these demons' personalities, they wouldn't submit to the Dark Devil race. They would definitely fight against the Dark Devil race. At that time, Mo Qingyun might be able to take the opportunity to catch his breath. Although this situation was still very far away for Mo Qingyun. But it wasn't a bad thing for Mo Qingyun to make preparations early. After taking the arcane key from Qin Mo, Mo Qingyun gave some instructions to Qin Mo and the others before leaving the Qin manor. "Father, the key was taken away by Master. Won't the plan to rescue the progenitor fail?" After Mo Qingyun left the Qin manor, Qin Gu had a nervous expression. He was worried that they wouldn't be able to rescue the progenitor. Hearing Qin Gu's worried words, Qin Mo sighed and said, "Gu, don't jump to conclusions too early. I think that if we give the key to Master, we'll be able to open the extraterrestrial immortal prison sooner." "Father, why do you say that?" Qin Gu didn't understand and asked Qin Mo. Hearing Qin Gu's question, Qin Mo shook his head and said, "I don't know. It's just a feeling." Hearing Qin Mo's words, Qin Gu stopped asking and started discussing other matters. After leaving the Qin manor, Mo Qingyun didn't stop and directly returned to the Thousand Autumns manor. When Mo Qingyun returned to the Thousand Autumns manor, Huang Yushang was already waiting for him. "Why are you only back now? What have you been doing these days?" Seeing Emo Qingyun return to the courtyard, Huang Yushang had a curious expression and quickly walked towards Emo Qingyun. I ran into some urgent matters and was delayed for a while. Emo Qingyun didn't answer Huang Yushang's question and simply evaded it. Seeing that Emo Qingyun didn't answer truthfully, Huang Yushang didn't ask any more and urged Emo Qingyun, "Let's go quickly. Don't wait until we reach the Phantom Spirit Abyss. The Phantom Spirit Abyss will have already opened and other people will get there first." "Okay." Hearing Huang Yushang's question, Emo Qingyun nodded and left the Thousand Autumns Manor with Huang Yushang. Not long after, Emo Qingyun and Huang Yushang arrived outside the Thousand Spirits City. "Wait a moment." Outside the Thousand Spirits City, Emo Qingyun called out to Huang Yushang and summoned the Lightning Cloud Crane. Seeing the Lightning Cloud Crane beside Emo Qingyun, Huang Yushang was shocked and said in surprise, "Lightning Cloud Crane, you actually have such a mount. Who are you? Is it really important who I am?" Emo Qingyun smiled faintly. Instead of answering her question, he replied, "Who I am is not important. What's important is that I am the Emo Tianhan that you know." "Humph. So mysterious. If you don't want to say it, then don't say it. Do you think I want to know?" Huang Yushang pouted and looked unhappy. She looked very cute. "Come on up." Emo Qingyun didn't care about Huang Yushang's displeasure and beckoned to her. Seeing Emo Qingyun's action, Huang Yushang glared at Emo Qingyun and leaped onto the Lightning Cloud Crane's back. The Lightning Cloud Crane's flying speed was much faster than Emo Qingyun and Huang Yushang's flying speed. "No wonder you're not anxious at all. It turns out that you have such a mount. It's much faster than us traveling on our own." Sitting on the Lightning Cloud Crane's back, Huang Yushang still looked angry. She glared at Emo Qingyun and said, "You have such a flying mount. Why didn't you tell me earlier? You made me anxious all the time." "I'll definitely tell you next time." Emo Qingyun smiled faintly and replied calmly. Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Huang Yushang immediately became angry and said angrily, "Now I know. Do I still need you to tell me next time?" Emo Qingyun was speechless and didn't argue with Huang Yushang about this. He changed the topic and said, "You know the location of the Mirage Spirit Abyss. You command the Lightning Cloud Crane to fly." "Okay." Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Huang Yushang nodded in agreement and began to instruct the Lightning Cloud Crane to fly. After leaving the matter of traveling to Huang Yushang, Emo Qingyun also had some free time and closed his eyes to cultivate. This guy, seeing Emo Qingyun like this, Huang Yushang's pretty face immediately darkened, and the anger in her heart grew. He was a big man, but he was actually cultivating at the side and leaving the matter of traveling to a woman. This guy Emo Tianhan was really too much. Although she grumbled in her heart, Huang Yushang still continued on her journey without slacking off at all. As the dissatisfaction in her heart gradually dissipated, Huang Yushang's gaze towards Emo Qingyun gradually changed. Although this guy is a little annoying, his diligence in cultivation is indeed incomparable to ordinary people. He doesn't even waste time on the road. At this moment, Huang Yushang admired Emo Qingyun a little more. She asked herself if she could do this. Following that, as time passed, they got closer and closer to the Mirage Spirit Abyss. At this moment, Emo Qingyun, who was in the middle of cultivation, suddenly grew. His cultivation had broken through. His cultivation has broken through to the late stage of the constellation realm? Sensing the change in Emo Qingyun's aura, Huang Yushang's expression was shocked. Her gaze towards Emo Qingyun changed again, and she exclaimed, "This guy can break through his cultivation while traveling. No wonder his cultivation speed is so fast." Emo Qingyun didn't know what Huang Yushang was thinking at all. He was currently immersed in cultivation. As Emo Qingyun continued to cultivate, the aura on his body gradually stabilized, and the realm that he had just broken through stabilized. After an unknown period of time, "Mr. Emo, we've arrived at the Mirage Spirit Abyss. Huang Yushang's voice entered Mo Qingyun's ears, waking Mo Qingyun from his cultivation. Mo Qingyun opened his eyes and saw Huang Yushang's delicate face. He smiled faintly and said, "I accidentally broke through my cultivation. I didn't share your burden along the way. You've suffered along the way." He accidentally broke through. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Huang Yushang was suddenly speechless, and anger flashed across her pretty face. "You're deliberately trying to hurt me, aren't you? Can't you pretend a little harder? Let's go, my good friend is not far away." Huang Yushang suppressed the anger in her heart and didn't want to continue talking to Mo Qingyun. She was afraid that if she continued to talk to Mo Qingyun, she would be beaten to death by Mo Qingyun. She realized that from the moment she met Mo Qingyun, she was suppressed by Mo Qingyun in every way. This feeling made her feel very uncomfortable. Seeing Huang Yushang's performance, Mo Qingyun didn't say anything more and put away the lightning cloudy crane. Then, Mo Qingyun followed behind Huang Yushang to meet her friends. Not long after, under Huang Yushang's lead, Mo Qingyun saw a group of people. These people's cultivation was not weak, and they were all about the same as Huang Yushang, half-step almighty immortal. "Yushang, you're finally here." Seeing Huang Yushang appear, a man in a green dragon robe quickly walked in front of Huang Yushang. From the looks of it, this man should be Huang Yushang's admirer and had feelings for Huang Yushang. "I've kept everyone waiting." Huang Yushang didn't answer the man in the blue dragon robe. Instead, she looked at Mo Qingyun and said, "Let me introduce you. This is young Master Mo Tianhun, a helper that I've invited." "Fairy Yushang, a helper in the constellation realm? Are you kidding? This guy's cultivation is so low. What if he holds everyone back when we enter the illusory spirit abyss?" "I'll be frank. When we enter the illusory spirit abyss, I'll protect this guy's safety." When the crowd saw Mo Qingyun's cultivation, they all looked at him with disdain, and some disliked Mo Qingyun. Chapter 1639. Everyone, there's no need to be angry. The man smiled faintly when he saw their attitude. "I'll be responsible for this little brother's safety when we enter the Mirage Spirit Abyss later. Just focus on collecting treasures." "Young Master Xingpeng, you're just loving him. Kid, hurry up and thank young Master Xingpeng. If he hadn't asked, I wouldn't have come with you. Since young Master Xingpeng has asked, let's bring this kid along. Miss Yushang, you mustn't disappoint young Master Xingpeng's good intentions." Hearing the man in the green dragon robe's words, everyone began to flatter him. Mo Qingyun frowned and couldn't help but look at Xingpeng. He didn't believe that Xingpeng would be so kind. While Mo Qingyun was looking at Xingpeng, Xingpeng also happened to be looking at him. With a playful smile, Xingpeng said, "Little brother, when we enter the Phantom Spirit Abyss, you have to follow me closely. Otherwise, if there is an emergency, I won't be able to protect you in time." "Thank you for your kindness, young Master Xing, but I can protect myself. You don't have to worry about me." Mo Qingyun responded indifferently to Xingpeng's words. He didn't appreciate Xingpeng's kindness at all. One who was unaccountably solicitous was hiding evil intentions. Given Mo Qingyun's intelligence, he could naturally tell that Xingpeng's current actions were obviously hostile towards him. If Mo Qingyun really followed him, he would be in real danger. "Yushang, I heard from Bai Qian that you went to the Thousand Autumns mansion to take the servant test?" Xingpeng withdrew his gaze from Mo Qingyun and quickly walked up to Huang Yushang. He looked at her affectionately. "That's right." Huang Yushang instinctively took a few steps back when she saw Xingpeng's action. She said with a look of disdain, "I'm now a member of the Thousand Autumns mansion with the surname Qianqiu Yushang. Yushang, you're amazing. Congratulations." Bai Qian was overjoyed when she heard Huang Yushang's words. She quickly congratulated Huang Yushang. It could be seen that she was quite interested in becoming a member of the Thousand Autumns Manor. In contrast to Bai Qian's delight, Xing Peng's expression was one of disdain. He said in a slightly reproachful tone, "Yu Chang, as long as you accept me, you'll be the young lord's wife of the Azure Dragon Golden Rock clan. There's no need for you to become a servant of some Thousand Autumns manor." Yu Shang, hearing Xing Peng's words, Bai Qian's expression immediately changed. She immediately winked at Huang Yushang. It could be seen that Bai Qian held Huang Yushang in high esteem. "Young Master Xing Peng, please conduct yourself with dignity." Huang Yushang chose to ignore Bai Qian's gaze and coldly replied to Xing Peng. She continued, "Although I, Huang Yushang, am of low birth, I am not someone who can be humiliated by anyone. If you continue to disrespect me like this, don't blame me for being impolite." Yu Shang, hearing Huang Yushang's cold words, Xing Peng's face revealed his anxiety. He wanted to persuade Huang Yushang. "Since everyone is here, let's set off quickly." Seeing that the atmosphere was not right, Bai Qian giggled and tried to divert everyone's attention. "That's right. Since everyone is here, let's not waste any more time. Everyone, let's set off quickly. If we arrive too late, we won't even be able to reap the benefit. Young Master Xing Peng, please." Seeing that the atmosphere was not right, everyone spoke up to ease it. Hearing everyone's words, Xing Peng's expression improved a little. He nodded and hurried along with everyone. As Xing Peng hurried on his way, the way he looked at Mo Qinyun had become much colder. From the looks of it, he blamed Mo Qinyun for Huang Yushang's ignoring him. The Azure Dragon Golden Rock tribe is ranked 63rd on the 10,000 Archean tribes board. This Xing Peng's background is not simple. Recalling Xing Peng's words, Mo Qinyun sighed inwardly. He knew why Xing Peng was so arrogant. With his identity as the young lord of the Azure Dragon Golden Rock tribe, he had the right to be arrogant and disdainful of Thousand Autumn Manor. While Mo Qinyun was pondering, Bai Qian walked up to Huang Yushang and glanced at Mo Qinyun. "Yushang, are you so cold to young Master Xing Peng because of that brat?" "Bai Qian, don't talk nonsense." Huang Yushang's pretty face immediately changed when she heard Bai Qian's words. She stole a glance at Mo Qinyun and said, "What kind of person is Mr. Mo? Why would he fall for someone like me?" She had heard people say that Mo Qinyun was from the Heavenly Soul Demon tribe and was a peerless genius of the Heavenly Soul Demon tribe. This meant that the difference in status between her and Mo Qinyun was too great. Moreover, from her interactions with Mo Qinyun, she could feel that Mo Qinyun didn't have any other thoughts about her. Perhaps this was why she was willing to interact with Mo Qinyun and let her guard down around Mo Qinyun. Bai Qian immediately saw something unusual in Huang Yushang's reaction. She curled her lips disapprovingly and said, "You don't mean what you say. If you didn't like him, why would you bring him to the Phantom Abyss?" Bai Qian glanced at Xing Peng and said, "Moreover, isn't there a huge difference in status between you and young Master Xing Peng? Didn't he fall in love with you at first sight?" "Don't talk nonsense. Xing Peng can't compare to Mr. Mo." Huang Yushang panicked when she saw that Bai Qian had misunderstood her. She immediately explained, "Also, I brought Mr. Mo here because I wanted to have a helper. Xing Peng can't compare to Mr. Mo. Your Mr. Mo is the most powerful." Seeing Huang Yushang's nervous expression, Bai Qian immediately laughed and mimicked Huang Yushang's manner of speaking. "Bai Qian, if you continue to be like this, I will get angry." Huang Yushang's pretty face turned serious when she saw that Bai Qian was not going to let her off easily. Okay. Whatever you say." Seeing Huang Yushang's reaction, Bai Qian did not continue to argue. She smiled faintly at Huang Yushang and said, "Yushang, this Mo Tianhun is only at the constellation realm. Aren't you afraid of encountering danger by bringing him into the Phantom Abyss?" Hearing Bai Qian ask about Mo Qingyun's strength, Huang Yushang glanced at Mo Qingyun. Her expression became more serious as she said, "Bai Qian, Mr. Mo's true strength is not as simple as it seems on the surface. You and I are no match for him. After witnessing the battle between Mo Qingyun and Yang Tianfeng and the others, Huang Yushang understood that she was far from being a match for Mo Qingyun. Is that true? He is only at the constellation realm. Hearing Huang Yushang's words, Bai Qian's eyes widened in disbelief. However, looking at Huang Yushang's expression, it did not seem like she was lying. This shocked her greatly. Immediately, Bai Qian developed some curiosity about Mo Qingyun in her heart. Next, the group chatted as they walked and hurried towards the Phantom Abyss. On the way, Mo Qingyun did not speak much with Huang Yushang and the others. He just silently followed behind the group. Not long after, a vast canyon appeared in front of Mo Qingyun and the others. This was the Phantom Abyss. At this moment, in front of the Phantom Abyss stood thousands of figures. These people also came to the Phantom Abyss to seek opportunities. Mo Qingyun glanced at the group. He found that the strength of this group of people was basically at the golden celestial stage. Among them, there were a few who were particularly powerful and had even reached the quasi-Taishian celestial stage. There are so many experts. It seems that it is not easy to get the treasure from them. Seeing the strength of the people in front of her, Bai Qian showed a dejected expression. She could not help but feel a sense of defeat. In her opinion, with her strength, she most likely had no chance with the treasure. Compared to Bai Qian's dejection, Xing Peng looked at the people in front of him with a surprised smile. Then, Xing Peng moved and flew to the side of a quasi-Taishian celestial stage expert. He said, "Cousin Wanfeng, why are you here?" "Oh, it's Cousin Xing Peng. You actually came here. Anne has been talking about you recently." The person recognized Xing Peng. He showed a surprised smile and chatted with Xing Peng enthusiastically. Seeing Xing Peng talking to that person, Bai Qian and the others behind immediately showed a surprised smile. Young Master Xing Peng is indeed worthy of being the young lord of a large clan. He actually knows a quasi-Taishian celestial stage expert. If that expert takes us to the Phantom Spirit Abyss to search for treasure, I will definitely have a great harvest. It is a wise choice to go with young Master Xing Peng this time. Don't be mistaken. The reason Xing Peng is with us is mainly because of Yushang's charm. Haha, that's right. It is mainly thanks to Fairy Yushang. Everyone was fawning over Huang Yushang. As for Mo Qingyun at the side, he was forgotten by everyone. Mo Qingyun did not care about this and just stood silently at the side. While Bai Qian and the others were talking, Xing Peng and Wanfeng walked over and showed a superior attitude. "Everyone, this is my cousin Wanfeng. People call him Reverend Wanfeng." Bringing Wanfeng in front of everyone, Xing Peng revealed a proud smile and introduced Wanfeng to everyone. "Junior greets Reverend Wanfeng." "Greetings, Reverend Wanfeng." "Greetings, Reverend Wanfeng." "Reverend Wanfeng." Hearing Xing Peng's introduction, everyone bowed to Wanfeng. When everyone bowed to Wanfeng, Mo Qingyun indeed had a calm expression and did not move at all. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, Xing Peng and the others' faces sank and showed strong displeasure towards Mo Qingyun. He doesn't know the rules. How dare he not bow to Reverend Wanfeng? One look and I can tell he has never seen the world. He doesn't know any etiquette at all. How did Fairy Yushang know such a person? What a disgrace to Fairy Yushang. Everyone mocked Mo Qingyun and immediately distanced themselves from Mo Qingyun. When everyone looked at Mo Qingyun, Reverend Wanfeng noticed Mo Qingyun and showed a trace of displeasure. He did not expect that a constellation realm person would dare to be so disrespectful to him. "Xing Peng, is this kid with you?" Looking at Mo Qingyun in front of him, Reverend Wanfeng asked in a cold tone, emitting a chill from his body. Chapter 1640. Young Master Xing Peng, you, hearing Xing Peng's words, Huang Yushang immediately became anxious and looked at Xing Peng angrily. This guy was too despicable. His current actions were clearly trying to kill Mo Qingyun. Miss Yushang, he's just a kid from a constellation position. You don't have to pay attention to him. Without waiting for Huang Yushang to speak, Xing Peng interrupted her and stood in front of her. Since you don't know him, that's easy. When Wan Feng heard Xing Peng's reply, a cold smile appeared on his face. He wanted to kill Mo Qingyun. With his intelligence, he could naturally tell that Xing Peng's words were not true. Xing Peng had said that because he wanted to use him to get rid of the kid in front of him. Although he knew that Xing Peng was using him, considering his relationship with Xing Peng, there was no need to be calculative. As Xing Peng's cousin, it was normal for him to help Xing Peng get rid of a love rival. This person wants to kill me. Sensing Wan Feng's cold aura, Mo Qingyun's heart trembled. He immediately left his original spot in a flash. When Mo Qingyun left his original spot, a sword light with a hidden aura swept past where he had been standing. That was close. Seeing the sword light with a hidden aura, Mo Qingyun was shocked and immediately felt a lingering fear. If he had not been vigilant, Wan Feng's sword light would have been enough to decapitate him. Although an attack of this level might not have been able to kill him on the spot, it was enough to make him suffer. At least for a few years, his cultivation would not be able to improve, and he could only spend his time cultivating and healing his injuries. As expected of an expert at the quasi-Tai mystic immortal realm, I really can't underestimate her. While Mo Qingyun sighed in his heart, he did not dare to stay in his original spot for long. His figure flashed and left his original spot. The moment Mo Qingyun's figure flashed, Wan Feng's attack came again. He narrowly avoided it. He dodged it again? Everyone was shocked when they saw Mo Qingyun's performance. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. Even though there was a difference of 2 great realms between them, Mo Qingyun was still able to continuously dodge Wan Feng's attack. This sort of ability left everyone flabbergasted. Could be a coincidence if it happened once, but it was definitely not a coincidence if it happened twice. This meant that Mo Qingyun was indeed very capable. Vanishing Shadow, Rushing Thunder Wind Dao, Illusory Void Star Position. After dodging Wan Feng's attacks, Mo Qingyun no longer held back and used several techniques. With the support of several powers, Mo Qingyun's movement speed instantly rose to a whole new level. As Mo Qingyun's movement speed increased, Wan Feng's next few attacks were all dodged by him. How is this possible? This brat is only at the constellation realm, yet he was able to avoid Venerable Wan Feng's attack. Even I couldn't dodge Senior Wan Feng's attack, but this kid actually managed to dodge it. It's too strange. Is this the strength that a person from a constellation should possess? Everyone was shocked when they saw Mo Qingyun's performance, and they couldn't help but utter words of disbelief. This damn brat, his movement technique is actually so profound that he can dodge my cousin's attack. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, Xing Peng's face was gloomy, and his killing intent towards Mo Qingyun became even stronger. At this moment, he felt a strong threat from Mo Qingyun. If he didn't eliminate Mo Qingyun, it would be impossible for him to win Huang Yushang's heart. So he's really so powerful. It seems that Huang Yushang wasn't lying. Seeing Mo Qingyun's outstanding performance, Bai Qian was shocked and believed what Huang Yushang said before. She said worriedly, although his methods are outstanding, Venerable Wan Feng is still a quasi-grand unity mystic immortal. It's probably very difficult for him to survive from Venerable Wan Feng's attack. So he hid a part of his strength in the previous competition. Seeing Mo Qingyun's amazing performance, Huang Yushang's beautiful eyes widened, and she said worriedly with a guilty expression, "It's all my fault for not being considerate enough. If I knew that Xing Peng would also come, I wouldn't have called him along." At this moment, Huang Yushang looked at Mo Qingyun with eyes full of concern and worry. If one looked carefully, they would see that Huang Yushang's fingernails were deeply embedded in her flesh. Seeing Huang Yushang's expression, Xing Peng's jealousy towards Mo Qingyun instantly intensified. He, the young lord of the Azure Dragon and Golden Rock clan, was actually inferior to a brat from a constellation. This was too unreasonable. Hidden door. When everyone looked at Mo Qingyun, a strange door of light instantly enveloped Mo Qingyun. Then, Mo Qingyun's figure disappeared, and even his aura disappeared. That brat disappeared? When they saw Mo Qingyun's figure disappear, everyone revealed shocked expressions. They were extremely surprised by this scene. This situation was far beyond their expectations. That brat disappeared? Even his aura has disappeared. This is too strange. What kind of ability is this? It can even hide one's aura. What a strange brat. Where did he come from? How does he know such an ability? He's only a constellation realm cultivator, yet he can escape from a quasi-grand unity mystic immortal. He can be considered one of a kind. Yeah, if this brat doesn't die, his future achievements will definitely shock the world. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, everyone's evaluation of him changed again. Even his aura has disappeared? Unable to sense Mo Qingyun's existence, Wan Feng's face was as gloomy as ink, and he emitted a terrifying killing intent. A constellation realm brat had actually escaped from his hands. This was the greatest humiliation in his life. He was truly unable to accept such a thing. However, with the current situation, it seemed like he had no choice but to accept it. As expected, he still has a trump card hidden. It seems like I've underestimated him. I knew that you wouldn't be killed so easily. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, a faint smile appeared on Huang Yushang's pretty face. She said, "What a hateful guy. He's always like this. Every time, he doesn't tell me and makes me worry for nothing." While Huang Yushang was pleasantly surprised, Bai Qian, who was beside her, widened her beautiful eyes and said with an incredulous expression, "So, he has such a skill. No wonder Yushang trusts him so much. This guy is indeed much more outstanding than Xingpeng." That brat actually escaped from cousin? Xingpeng's expression was dull. He couldn't believe that this was true, and his mind was in a daze. He thought that with his half-step golden immortal strength, he wouldn't be able to escape from Wan Feng's hands. At this moment, while Xingpeng was in a daze, a saber radiance rapidly attacked him. Xingpeng's expression changed drastically when he sensed the saber radiance coming at him. He quickly tilted his head to the side. Xingpeng's head quickly dodged. Although he managed to avoid his vital parts, his right ear was cut off. His right ear was cut off, and a piercing pain came from the side of his ear. My ear, my ear. Feeling the pain coming from his ear, Xingpeng couldn't help but scream. He shouted angrily, "Who is it? Who is hiding in the dark and attacking me? Come out immediately." "Humph! You're alert enough to keep your life. You won't be so lucky next time." Not long after Xingpeng finished speaking, Mo Qingyun's voice came from the dark and entered everyone's ears. "That brat still hasn't left?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone was shocked again. They were stunned by Mo Qingyun's actions. This guy is really bold. He actually dared to hurt someone when he was being chased by a half-step Grand Unity Xian immortal. "Brat, so you're hiding here." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wan Feng's figure flashed as she charged toward the source of the voice. A sharp sword radiance suddenly slashed out from Wan Feng's sword, causing the space to tremble. Unfortunately, Mo Qingyun's figure still didn't appear under the sweep of his sword radiance. In other words, Mo Qingyun had already left before he made his move. That damned brat! Seeing that Mo Qingyun had dodged his all-out attack once again, Wan Feng gnashed his teeth in anger. At this moment, he felt humiliated. He felt that he was being played by Mo Qingyun. A half-step Grand Unity Xian immortal actually attacked someone from the constellation position. "You're really powerful. Mo Qingyun's voice sounded again. His words were filled with ridicule, expressing his disdain for Wan Feng. Chapter 1641. When everyone flew into the illusory spirit abyss, Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate and immediately followed them. As soon as they entered the illusory spirit abyss, a terrifying aura and pressure enveloped everyone. What an amazing aura and pressure! It's worthy of being a relic from the desolate era. Sensing the aura and pressure in the illusory spirit abyss, Mo Qingyun was shocked. He was very surprised by the situation. He never thought that there would be such a terrifying aura and pressure in a relic. It was as if a desolate powerhouse was standing in front of him. Under the pressure of this aura, the flying speed of some people with weaker cultivation was restrained. All of you, follow me. Glancing at Xing Peng and the others behind her, Wan Feng instructed them and led them deeper into the illusory spirit abyss. As they went deeper into the illusory spirit abyss, the aura and pressure they felt became more and more intense. During this period, some people couldn't resist the aura and retreated halfway. The relic at the bottom of the illusory spirit abyss didn't look particularly far, but it was actually very far away. Mo Qingyun flew for about a quarter of an hour before he arrived at the bottom of the illusory spirit abyss. When they arrived at the bottom of the illusory spirit abyss, Mo Qingyun saw a huge light curtain blocking their path. Looking at the light curtain in front of them, everyone stopped and stood in front of it. Apotheosis Hu Yang, Apotheosis Aoli, let's work together to break this ancient array. Glancing at the light curtain in front of them, Wan Feng instructed the two people beside her, intending to work together with them to break the array. Hu Yang and Ao Li's cultivation was also at the quasi-grand unity profound immortal stage, and they were stronger than Wan Feng. All right. Hearing Wan Feng's suggestion, Aoli nodded and agreed that the three of them should work together to break the array. Hu Yang and the other two discussed, and then gathered some perfected golden immortals to work together with them to break the array. Boom! 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 Waves of terrifying immortal spiritual force blasted out from Wan Feng and the others and bombarded the light curtain in front of them. Under the bombardment of Wan Feng and the others, a loud noise came from the light curtain, and it began to shake violently. Boom! The light curtain shook for a moment and then couldn't withstand the attacks and burst like firework. The moment the light screen exploded, a terrifying wave of spiritual power suddenly came from the light screen. Under the impact of this wave of spiritual energy, some people who couldn't dodge in time were instantly blown away by the air wave. In just a short while, hundreds of people were seriously injured by the shock waves and could no longer move forward. Roar, roar, roar! To everyone's surprise, the moment the light curtain was broken, a shadow with an astonishing aura flew out from within the ruins. These shadow spirits were extremely powerful. Most of them were at the great overarching golden immortal realm, and the weakest was at the quasi-golden immortal realm. Not good. This ruin has existed for too long. The remnant souls of the experts inside have all mutated. If it's just a mutation, then it's fine. But if they develop intelligence, then we're in big trouble. So many spirits. With so many spirits blocking the way, there's no way we can enter the ruins. So what if we enter the ruins? I'm afraid he'll only die at the hands of spirits. Everyone's expressions tensed up as they watched the spirit soul charging towards them. They were extremely fearful of the spirit soul. In a short moment, Wan Feng and the others were drowned out by these spirits in the ruins. Awo! At this moment, a great overarching golden immortal realm spirit bared its fangs and brandished its claws as it attacked Huang Yushang. Seeing this great overarching golden immortal realm spirit attacking her, Huang Yushang's pretty face immediately twitched and revealed a panicked expression. With her half-step great overarching golden immortal realm strength, facing the attack of a great overarching golden immortal realm spirit was an extremely dangerous situation. More importantly, Bai Qian and the others were entangled by the spirit soul and had no time to help her. As such, she could only rely on her own strength if she wanted to resolve the crisis in front of her. Yushang Fire Cloud. Huang Yushang quickly brandished the longsword in her hand and slashed at the great overarching golden immortal realm spirit, blasting out an imposing immortal spiritual energy. This immortal spiritual energy blasted out from the sword and turned into a terrifying fire cloud, engulfing the spirit soul in front of it. Roar! Faced with the bombardment of Huang Yushang's sword light, the spirit soul roared violently and slashed at the fire cloud with its palm. Under the attack of the great overarching golden immortal realm spirit, Huang Yushang's sword light was instantly blasted into nothingness. After smashing Huang Yushang's sword light with its palm, the great overarching golden immortal realm spirit's attack did not stop and continued to rush toward Huang Yushang. Am I going to die? Faced with the attack of the great overarching golden immortal realm spirit, Huang Yushang's pretty face paled, and she could not help but feel a sense of despair. Just as Huang Yushang's heart was filled with despair, a huge black figure suddenly appeared in front of her. This was a great overarching golden immortal realm ghost. A ghost? Looking at the ghost that appeared in front of her, Huang Yushang's face was filled with shock. She was extremely surprised by this scene. Where did this ghost come from? And why was it protecting her? Don't be careless. Follow this ghost carefully. It will lead you into the ruins. Just as Huang Yushang was puzzled, a familiar voice suddenly appeared in her mind. You! Hearing the voice in her mind, Huang Yushang's pretty face immediately lit up. Her expression became excited as she thought to herself, so he never left and has been secretly protecting me. At least you still have some conscience and did not leave me in the lurch. While Huang Yushang was secretly delighted, she did not dare to be careless. She quickly joined forces with the great overarching golden immortal realm ghost to attack the great overarching golden immortal realm spirit. Under the joint attack of Huang Yushang and the ghost, the great overarching golden immortal realm spirit was soon blasted into pieces. Bai Qian, let me help you. After killing the great overarching golden immortal realm spirit in front of her, Huang Yushang quickly flew to Bai Qian's side and helped her deal with the half-step great overarching golden immortal realm spirit in front of her. In a short while, the half-step great overarching golden immortal realm spirit that attacked Bai Qian was killed by Huang Yushang and Bai Qian. After killing the half-step great overarching golden immortal realm spirit, Huang Yushang and Bai Qian did not dare to stay in the same place and immediately followed the great overarching golden immortal realm ghost. Yushang, what's the matter with this great overarching golden immortal realm ghost? Why are we following it? Following behind the great overarching golden immortal realm ghost, Bai Qian had a surprised and puzzled expression as she asked, "Why is this great overarching golden immortal realm ghost helping us? Do you know the reason?" "The reason is a little complicated. I'll explain it to you when I have time. Let's leave this place first." Huang Yushang did not answer Bai Qian's question and quickly changed the topic. She would never reveal that Mo Qingyun was hiding nearby, not even if the other party was Bai Qian. Now, Mo Qingyun was secretly protecting her at the risk of his life. She didn't want Mo Qingyun to fall into a dangerous situation because of her carelessness. Seeing that Huang Yushang was unwilling to speak, Bai Qian did not ask any more questions and silently followed behind Huang Yushang. I didn't expect him to be able to summon a great overarching golden immortal realm ghost. Following behind the great overarching golden immortal realm ghost, Huang Yushang had a strong feeling and had a new understanding of Mo Qingyun. It turned out that she had underestimated Mo Qingyun. Knowing about Mo Qingyun's trump card, Huang Yushang thought of the actions of Yang Tianfeng and the others and revealed a mocking expression. She thought to herself, Yang Tianfeng and the others are really ridiculous. They actually dared to challenge Mo Tianhun. They really don't know their own strength. Then, under Mo Qingyun's secret protection, Huang Yushang and Bai Qian easily avoided the spirit's attack. About 2 hours later, under Mo Qingyun's secret protection, Huang Yushang and Bai Qian arrived at the interior of the ruins. At this moment, when Huang Yushang and Bai Qian arrived at the interior of the ruins, Wan Feng and the others also followed. Yushang, are you all right? Xing Peng and the others followed. When they saw Huang Yushang and Bai Qian, they immediately flew towards them. In response to Xing Peng's words of concern, Huang Yushang replied with a cold expression, "I'm fine. You don't have to worry about me, young Master Xing Peng. Miss Yushang, since Xing Peng and the others are here, you should be safe. I'll take my leave first." Seeing that Xing Peng and the others had arrived, Mo Qingyun didn't want to stay any longer. He bid farewell to Huang Yushang. Wan Feng was too powerful. If he continued to stay by her side, Mo Qingyun's movements would be inconvenient. Therefore, he decided to part ways with Huang Yushang and enter the ruins alone to search for treasures. When she heard Mo Qingyun's words, Huang Xiu's pretty face immediately changed. She began to look around. Unfortunately, no matter how she looked or sensed, she couldn't discover Mo Qingyun's presence. Looks like he really left. With this result, Huang Yushang didn't think too much about it and retracted her attention. "Alright, let's go in." Wan Feng and the others expressed their concern. They no longer hesitated and began to enter the depths of the ruins. While Wan Feng and the others were hurrying, Mo Qingyun had already entered the depths of the ruins and arrived in front of a huge palace. Profound Purity Dao Mansion. Standing in front of the palace, Missouri Qingyun saw a huge plaque hanging on the top of the palace. Although the words on the plaque had been there for a long time, they still had a strong aura. It could be foreseen that the person who wrote these words back then must have been an almighty with terrifying strength. After a simple glance at the palace, Missouri Qingyun didn't hesitate and immediately walked into the palace. Walking into the palace, Missouri Qingyun saw statues scattered on both sides of the palace. There was a mysterious power on these statues that exerted pressure on those who entered the palace. Thump, thump, thump. Under the pressure of this power, Mo Qingyun's feet immediately sank and he unconsciously took a few steps back. When Mo Qingyun stabilized his body, he revealed a terrified expression and said in surprise, "What a terrifying pressure. Just the pressure from a few statues is comparable to a grand unity mysterious immortal realm expert. Where did the owner of this palace come from?" Mo Qingyun pondered for a moment. He walked into the palace again and tried to enter the palace. This time, Mo Qingyun walked very slowly. It could be said that he stopped with every step and took a short rest with every 3 steps. There's a huge palace here. There must be a lot of treasures inside. As Mo Qingyun walked forward, the group arrived outside the palace. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.